yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause I'm there for
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
Slaves used to work all day, every day, with no pay. But they got free food, water, and shelter. Today, we work all day, nearly every day, and we get paid. But the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We're still slaves. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom.
I just know we found something so loud of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground. Let me save you.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
I am struggling extremely with mental health issues, and I am trying to do that whilst being FTFE. And unfortunately, talking to flat earthers is quite painful.
All right, thank you, Craig.
Riverside, wait for me, I'll be coming home.
Law. Nowhere in nature or in a controlled environment can we ever produce a volume outside of containment.
What's that?
Has gas been seen or
what's that, brother?
Now let me see you
Esta es una historia triste la que le voy a contar. Una historia triste la que le voy a contar. No tiene doble sentido, no vayan a mal.
Chicken, banana, chicken, banana, chicken, banana, banana, banana.
I remember when I lost my mind.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. And right at the last minute, as the show was getting ready to start, guess what? The dog was out of water and started scratching his dish all over the place. Never fails. But don't worry, you'll be able to hear him drink here in just a couple of minutes because you're getting him some water right now. So how is everyone? We had a hell of a little show there last night. It reminded me very much of the scene out of Idiocracy about the electrolytes. I didn't want that. See, hear him back there pulling on that water? He's something else, man. I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. Idiocracy. There it is. And somebody's got it too. Great. Because this is what I felt like exactly when I was talking to him about fucking gravity. I mean, it's like, okay, the cause cannot be the effect. Okay, the cause cannot be the effect. So that's what I was trying to get him out of. Hang on a second. Here we go. They're discussing the shit at the White House. Here we go. Let me bring this up. This is exactly what they had going on. Hang on one second. Let me grab that. What's happening, Chad?
What's up?
How you doing tonight, man?
Give a dog a bone. I'm doing all right. I'll probably have to leave here in a minute and go snowball some more.
Oh, no shit. It's still coming. I saw a picture. I'll pull it up here in a minute. That was on Facebook from up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh, I bet it's bad up there.
Oh, my God. It's over your head. It's
Yeah,
over
I
your
bet.
head. There's like a wall of snow where they dug out in front of the stores
Mm-hmm.
on the sidewalk. Now, I don't know what they done with the snow or how they did that, but
Well, what I push to one side of my driveway, I'm 6'4" and it comes about to my chest. So,
Jesus.
I mean, however much, that's all the snow combined, but still.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but still, that's a tall thing. See, that's what I used to happen to me. This was funny. When I used to live in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
I had a Ford Tempo.
Yeah.
And this was years and years ago. I had a Ford Tempo, and I was at the mall in Pontiac, Christmas shop. And they had plowed that place, and well, where else do they put the snow but in between where the parking areas are at, so there's like these mountains. And if you don't know where you're at, you're going to get in the wrong, you're going to be searching for your car everywhere because it's like,
Yeah.
all right. So I come out of the mall and I go down the lane where I knew I'd parked, and I walk up and I unlock the door. I get in, I start it up. I reached down to shift the thing. It was an automatic, but it was a console, and I went to use that, and I looked and it wasn't there. And I looked and it was on the fucking steering column. And I'm like, what the hell? And I turned around and looked in the back seat, and there was all these like packages and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, this isn't even my car. I started it. I started it with my key.
That's crazy.
It was the same color car and everything, and it started up with my key, no trouble. I mean, it unlocked.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, man. Nobody saw me or nothing. And I didn't take nothing, of course.
That's
But
why.
wow.
You want to know? You want to know a synchronicity? See, I thought it was Pontiac. He said, "Give me 1 second. I'll be right back."
Okay. Ford Tempo had a turbo button next to the shifter. Yeah. It was the same as the Mercury Topaz, too. It was the exact same car. It's like my dad took me into the shop where he worked at, and it was at General Motors, and you had like the S10 pickup truck was out at that same time, but Pontiac had a model that looked exactly like it, but had like a different grill and shit. And there was all and the different companies, they would all come out and down the assembly line looking exactly the same, but then the ones that were going to be a Chevy would split off and go this way. The ones that were going to be a GM split off and went this way. The ones that were going to be a Pontiac would trip off and go this way. I mean, it was really wild to see, because then they would just get different taillights, different ornaments, different, shit like that. I thought that was pretty crazy, but they were all coming off the same line.
So I was looking through.
Here, the dog.
Here.
There he is. He's back there slurping down, boy.
I was looking through. So I never knew my real dad, but he passed away a couple of years ago. But I had this album book I was looking through last night, photo album book, and apparently my grandfather and them were from Pontiac, Michigan too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and I can't. It's all falling out of here, but you can't see much of it. They're all falling out now. But hang on. I'll have to go out and individually pull them out of here. Gosh,
Pontiac was a nice city in its day.
Yeah.
It's a fucking armpit now.
But yeah, here, like on the side here, you can see it says Pontiac, Michigan. Well, maybe not Pontiac, Michigan, right there. No, it's falling out. But yeah. Then there's a Dennis Ritt Auto Sales or something. But all these old pictures and stuff.
Oh my God. Where did you go to school? Let me ask you something. Where did you go to school? Did you go to Pontiac Central?
I'd have to look that up. I just came across this last night. I've looked at it before, but I never really.
Is it his obit? Is it his obit? Do you have? Is he still alive, or is he?
No, he passed a couple years ago.
It's not in his obituary where he went to high school.
Actually, yeah, it might be.
Because
I'll have to look it up.
He probably either went to Pontiac Northern or Pontiac Central.
Yeah.
One of those two high schools, yeah. But it's possible he would have went to. He could have maybe gone to Avondale too. I don't know. That's more over in Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills. Is what it is now. So people who have never. I was just. Oh, you're up there all by yourself, man. It's just you talking. It's like fuck the rest of the people. Yeah. So. That thing last night when I was trying to get through to him, it's like, okay, I know that you think that there's this force that is responsible for the observed effect. Okay. Can you prove that? And the best he could do, well, what else would it be? I mean, it's like, well, and he goes, oh, it's gravity. And I says, I understand that, but how do you know gravity is the responsible? He says, because of the speed that it's going. Is it because of the acceleration? I said, right. But how do you know that gravity is responsible for the acceleration? Mm-hmm. And it was like this scene right here out of Idiocracy. People who have not seen Idiocracy.
Now try modding that and not saying anything.
Oh, I know. Dude, when that fucking thing flashed up there and said MC Tune on it at the top of the screen, I was like, oh, okay. All right. That's your source, MC Tune? Really? Some paper he made?
I wonder if Tune got mad, him doing that, scrolling up. Yeah, that was clearly a mistake. So.
Oh, absolutely. Because he real quick pulled it away, but I saw it right immediately. I had a lot of people in the comments said that. So anyway, in Idiocracy, it's basically this guy, he's frozen and then forgot about, and he's woke up 500 years in the future. He's just an average guy. He wakes up 500 years in the future and everybody's a fucking retard. And he ends up being like the smartest person in the world. And he's working at the White House, and you'll see the White House looks really nice. I think it's almost here. I think it's almost going to be here. But anyway, they're discussing the agriculture. They're finding out that they were watering the crops with a sports drink.
Yeah.
And it was killing the crops, and they couldn't figure out why. Because after all, the slogan said Brondo has electrolytes, and they were told that plants crave electrolytes, which is basically salts. And so no wonder the crap, right? But he's trying to even get to the bottom of what are electrolytes. It's the same.
This time, he would lead.
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
The Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops?
Yes.
Water? Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay, look. The plants aren't growing, so I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem. I want to get my...
You see, and that's the thing. These idiots would agree with each other. That's how I see globetards is like these other folks, man. Exactly. They think they've got something because they were told that it's got electrolytes.
Yeah.
That's what plants crave. You know, well, wait a minute. Really? How do you know this, right?
Pardon? So why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
That's how I felt right there.
That was a perfect example.
That's exactly how I felt. And I'm like, oh my God, because it's got electrolytes.
Right. Gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody needs to, if not you, show that on for a movie night or something.
Oh, Idiocracy? Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Oh, you know what I did today? What I did today is I set cabinets.
Oh, really?
I set cabinets today. You know what I used a lot?
A level?
A level, yeah. In fact, you used a couple levels at the same time.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
This looks about right here.
Yeah, just put it up there. Wait, we got to make it match the curve of the earth and shit.
It's got electrolytes.
Yeah. I swear to God, that poor guy. I mean, I think he's got like the capacity to get it. If he can drop this fucking myth. I don't know why they have this myth in their head about mass attracting mass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like when you break that down and say, you know, look, nobody's ever seen that fucking happen in nature. Why would you even? Because things drop. And then use the example of dropping it into a completely denser medium like water or whatever. You know, it's going to change the observed effect, right? See, it's not gravity. But I mean, because I fully expected him to be proud and say, yeah, I got vaccinated. I got all my boosters too, you know?
Right.
And he questioned that science. So why do you take I bet you that if he was told about COVID and the vaccines with the propaganda when he was the same age as they told him about the globe, he would have been the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, since that came along later in life, he wasn't indoctrinated with it so much.
Well, he was able to at least have a moniker of critical thinking. You don't really have that when you're 5.
Yeah.
You got adults that you rely on telling you that there's some magic fat dude that comes and gives you gifts if you're good and shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's why they hit them while they're young. That's why they do it. Yeah, that's why they've done all that stuff. All that.
What the Jesuits say, they said, give me a child by the age of 5 and he will belong to the church forever.
Right.
That's hardwiring age. It's no mistake that they start taking kids at 5 years old to go to school. Now they're taking them even younger because they want to raise them right up from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, okay, you had a baby, you got 2 weeks, and then you got to go back to work and find a daycare and shit, you know. And so I can't really afford daycare. Well, the government offers daycare. We have this thing. It's called pre-beginner school.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
I know.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah,
And
they
by
keep
calling
saying-
it a school, they make it sound good, because people have this. There again, another misconception that that whole thing is there to make you smart. You know, you go through grades and then you graduate and then you're a graduate. You know, perhaps people ought to break that word down and see what it means.
Yeah.
You
And then you
know,
get to dress up and wear a robe, and they give you awards,
Mhm.
and yeah, make it all fancy. Every
it's the
Go ahead.
same as the wizard. It's
Yeah.
a ceremony. Everybody's there. It's a big important thing. It's been pushed at you as a big important thing, the most important thing in your life until after that. That's the most important thing, is that you're going to have to you graduate from high school. They make a big deal out of it and everything. Forget the fact that half the fucking kids coming out of there can't even read or understand their own diploma, what it says.
Yeah.
They don't know, right? They just push them through. They're fully indoctrinated. You don't really need to know the shit we told you anyways, because you're never going to fucking use it anyhow. And so it's kind of like when the wizard gave that shit to the, you know, everybody, the heart and the little paper that says courage and everything, it's like you look at it and say, well, that's fucking ridiculous. But in their minds, because this great wizard gave these to him, now he has them, when the whole reality is you had it all along. School didn't make you smart. It retarded you.
Yeah.
It actually retarded you.
I was about to say that. I'm pretty sure I know how it would go in this chat, but I was going to say it would be a good poll to see, like, do you think you learned more after school or while you were in school? And I'd be curious to ask just random people that. Do you think you've learned more after you were out of school than, for me, I say, heck yeah, totally, than what while you were in that whole 12, if you went through the whole 12-year system, whatever. But,
Right.
you know,
Well, let's see. How do we want to word that?
do you think that would you say that you learned more while you were in school or once you graduated?
Okay.
Or I guess everybody didn't graduate after school, I said. And you know, I'm not disparaging anybody that didn't graduate. I'm just saying, you know,
All right, let me
it's
see.
all indoctrination anyway. If you didn't graduate, good on you. You got out early. You got out of prison early, basically. But I have a pretty good feeling that most people are gonna in this chat. But I'd be curious to see what other people, just random, you know, random strangers and whatnot. That'd be like, you know, college kids even. It's like, did you learn more when you're in the school system or once you graduated and got out of the system? More, just in your everyday life.
All right, here we go. Dun dun dun. It's up there right now.
Cool.
So we've got, what do we got? 122 watching on the YouTube side. I expect to see 122 votes, people.
And likes.
And likes. What's that like? That likes
Match
not
them up.
looking good. Let's get them. Mash that like button. And let's change the banner color. How do we do that? We go over to style.
I mean, you know, and I'm even for people that currently go to school or, you know, like college or whatever. I mean, there's things to be learned in there, but I mean, there's also lessons there's lessons to be learned. I don't know, as far as I haven't been in the school system for so long, I don't know what the curriculum's like anymore, but there's definitely lessons you can learn in school, and it doesn't even have to do with the curriculum at all. Just learning about people and teachers and everything else.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I watched it. I watched a movie. It was Samuel Jackson was younger. I think it was from the early 2000s, and it was called 187. Now that's a police code for a murder,
right? Yeah.
And it's about this teacher. He's a teacher, and he's failing this kid, and this kid stabs him a bunch of times and almost kills him. And it took him like 15 months to recover. And he ended up doing substitute teacher work in Los Angeles, out of the frying pan right into the fire, man.
Yeah.
And it got pretty freaking brutal. It got pretty brutal in that movie, you know. And I mean, you were wanting these kids dead. I mean, you were wanting some of these kids. Somebody capped that son of a bitch, you know. And it really brought out. And then at the end of it, it said that movie it told about how many teachers are attacked by students every year in the schools and everything. And then it went on to say that movie was written by a teacher.
I think I've seen that movie in the movie theater.
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Go find it. It's called 187 with Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he's it's a damn good movie, really. And I didn't really care for the way it ended, but I understood it.
Mm-hmm. There's
Yeah.
another one kind of similar to that. It wasn't completely on the same lines.
Stand and Deliver. Did you ever
What's
see that? Stand and Deliver.
Don't sound familiar to me.
It's got I think it's Edward J. Almost is in it. That guy. Shit. Let me see if I can find the trailer for it.
I was trying to think of the one. No, I can't think of anything right now. I got too many things on my mind going.
Oh, there it is.
I'll have to look it up. But yeah, there's a couple other ones. I can't think of his dang name. Who's that Jewish? Well, I don't even know if he's Jewish. He's a comedian.
He probably is.
Supposedly comedian. Dang, man, I'm totally drawing a blank on everything right now.
Let's see. Is there
a Stand and Deliver, huh?
Yeah, it's you'll recognize the guy in it. So let me see if I can put trailer on here and then it can help me out. Trailer.
Michael Rappaport, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, he probably is with that name.
Well, I think he's a fake one, but
anyway, here we go.
Claims it.
They did a skit based on this in on South Park one time.
Stay awake as you're waking up. Wake up this morning. How are you? Bring toothpicks to pinch open your eyes.
Can we talk about sex?
We discuss sex. I have to give sexual homework.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. I'd lose a finger. I won't be able to count to 10.
At a tough school, someone had to take a stand, and someone did. Now the critics stand up and cheer for Stand and Deliver. Terrific, tremendous, gripping and compelling, more exciting than La Bamba. Almost gives a wonderful performance, declares Jack Kroll, Newsweek. Enormously inspiring and very rewarding. Almost gives the first great performance of the year. Jeffrey Lyons, sneak previews. And Pat Collins, WWOR-TV says, stand up and cheer for a movie with heart. It's the Rocky of the classroom. Edward James Olmos.
Deadhead.
Lou Diamond Phillips. Stand and Deliver.
How do I reach these kids?
That reminds me of Blood In, Blood Out.
It's a pretty good one. I just realized by looking at those actors and shit and the hairstyles, I was like, that's a rather old movie. 1988. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably when Lou Diamond was in his prime.
Yes, he was very young. Very young. He had just done La Bamba, I think.
Yeah, La Bamba, Young Guns, right?
Yep.
Yeah. There was that one. What was that one? Like Omen type movie that he did. Power of something. Power of One or something, I think. Anyway, there's that. Higher Learning was the one I was thinking of, the one with Michael Rappaport. But it kind of reminded me of 187 a little bit. But there is that. And then I watched a movie called Sovereign last night. That is total propaganda fear porn for anybody that does want to watch it. It's interesting, but holy moly. They basically are just trying to scare anybody away from being a sovereign or anything like that type, because I don't want to give it away, but they just want to make it so if you try and do any of that type of thing, it ain't going to end well for you. Daddy government's going to take care of you, basically. I'll just put it like that.
Listen, when you have to fear your government, it's time to get rid of your government.
Yeah, right.
That's all. Listen, and they're out of control right now. They're completely fucking out of control right now. This Pete Hegseth, where the fuck does he? Who the hell is he? He has no training in the field. He doesn't know anything. They pulled him off of fucking Fox News.
I was about to say that.
Got Kash Patel off of where? YouTube.
But look at Sean Duffy, Rachel Duffy, where they came from freaking Real World on MTV.
Yep.
You know, all these people are.
They're just from like listen.
Central
the only
casting.
person that he ever hired that was qualified to do their job was Stormy Daniels.
That's a fact.
That's for real. And he even fucked that up. Hey, here's a guy who filed bankruptcy 6 fucking times. He'll be great to fix our economy. What?
Well, you remember that nut, John Bolton? Remember that? Holy crap, that guy. Talk about another war hawk. That guy was wild.
Bolton,
Like
yeah.
whatever qualified that guy for any type of job, let alone
he was
the one they gave him.
Serious Zionist war hawk too.
Right.
Boy, I think Osama bin Laden was hiding in his fucking mustache.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You guys look fucking ridiculous. I'm serious. Yeah, here's this guy. Listen, this is back in so what they're doing right now, they've been setting this up since January of this year. And all right to go up to be able to do the fucking shit that they're doing right now, get around the Geneva Code, get around all this bullshit. And well, not bullshit. I mean, things that are in there that says, hey, you know, there's certain things you're not allowed to do in war, you know, like you can't just go and wantonly burn children and women and shit like that and torch people's houses and that kind of bullshit. And what they're doing right now, I mean, the president of the United States, not of Venezuela, closed the airspace to Venezuela and is enforcing it with United States fighter craft. What if another country did that to us?
That's what I ask all the time. Why are we allowed to go put bases all over the place, but nobody else can?
This is just, well, they signed some shit into provision. Remember, he was going crazy writing them fucking executive orders and shit.
Yeah.
Back then when he first got here.
I do have a correction for you, Sav.
What's that?
You said that Kansas was the flattest. I think it's Florida, actually.
Really? I read an article where they had actually surveyed it and voted it that. I never checked it myself, but I remember that was the article.
No, when you said that last night, I wasn't going to say anything while we're in the middle of a debate.
Right.
But
Florida is really flat, man. I flew down there to Jacksonville years ago.
Yeah.
Went down there and man, I got like vertigo because I was like, it was so fucking flat, and I'm used to this hilly country where I live at. And I mean, it was just so fucking flat that I was like, and I looked around and you could basically only see the buildings near you, you know? And I was like, there's no mountains. There's nothing. How the fuck did these people ever know where they're at, man?
What's the elevation where you're at? About, I guess.
I think we're at like anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 feet.
That's up there. Yeah.
Because it's about another 1,000 foot up to the top of the mountain, and that there, I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. I have a device right in front of me. Let's see. What is the elevation?
I got a pit barrel smoker, right? And it's based off, well, how you ventilate it is based off the elevation. There's a little vent at the bottom, and you crack it open so much, based on what sea level you're at.
Man, I can't type. Okay, so we're at 1,092 feet.
Okay.
Where I'm at in my town. Now, when I was out in California, I was at 39. I forget what it is, 3968, but it was in the desert, the high desert. But that's pretty high. It's a lot higher than here. Another almost 3,000 feet higher than here. Pretty crazy. But here's old Pete.
And what President Trump did was untie the hands of warfighters. He changed the rules of engagement, untied the hands of warfighters, and allowed them to complete their mission and crush ISIS. It has not just tactical implications, operational and strategic implications, how you allow warfighters to go about winning and fighting their wars. President Trump understands that, and within the laws of war and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, we are going to unleash warfighters to win wars so that wars don't drag on forever, as our generation has seen.
So are you rejecting Title 18 and Title 42, I think, also has provisions that incorporate the Geneva Convention and the laws of armed combat? Are you saying that those laws should be repealed? That is the law of the land right now.
Senator, we have laws on the books from the Geneva Conventions into the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And then underneath that, you have layers in which standard or temporary rules of engagement are put into place. We fight enemies also, Senator, as our generation understands, that play by no rules. They use civilians as human shields.
So are you saying
they target
that
women and children?
The Geneva Convention should not be
follow
observed?
rules. We follow rules, but we don't need burdensome rules of engagement that make it impossible for us to win these wars.
You're
And that's
saying
what
two different
President
things. You're
Trump
saying we follow
understands.
rules, but we don't have to follow the rules in all cases. Is that correct?
Senator, I'm making
some rules.
Senator, I'm making an important tactical distinction that warfighters will understand. That there are the rules we swear an oath to defend, which are incredibly important, and this committee understands.
This is another thing too. Calling them war fighters instead of soldiers. What is that shit?
Yeah.
War fighters.
They got all this new terminology. It's all by design.
Yeah, it is. It is. You should see what the difference in that is.
And helps set them. And then there are those echelons above reality from, corps to division to brigade to battalion. And by the time it trickles down to a company or a platoon or a squad level, you have a rules of engagement that nobody recognizes. And then it makes you incredibly difficult to actually do your job on the battlefield. That's the kind of assessment and look that an Army major will give to this process if I was confirmed.
See, he was just trying to get confirmed. Now they've done that. Trump has put all these different executive orders that he signed into craziness. He's a nut. He's a fucking nut. Well, this is kind of cool, I found. I wish I would have had this yesterday. I wish I'd have had this yesterday.
F-16 fighter pilot retired. You decided recently that you wanted to go public.
I wanted to start talking about this because there's just too many lies in the world now. It just seems like everything is deceit, and it gets overwhelming. And all they have to do is go down the road that I went down, and they're going to be sitting on this side of the screen as well, because it's obvious. But the reason you don't ever look into it when you're in the moment is because you just figure the earth is just vast. You don't see curvature because it's huge, right? So you don't ever think to question it, right? And I never even thought to wonder what the curvature formula is, right? 8 inches per mile squared, that ain't vast, man. The distances that we were working would have made a huge difference in my visual and radar presentations on a day-to-day basis. I know that it would have. And, I just can't hop back 20 years and put it to the test. I wish I knew then what I know now. And at least some of my goals about this is hoping that some young fighter pilot will go, wow, I'm going to check out what that old bastard says and go out and do what I'm going to describe to you guys in a minute to put it to the test. Radar Mechanics 101, they built it for a flat, stationary Earth. There's no doubt about it. And my goal is for some young fighter pilot to listen to what I just said, go out tomorrow and set the bottom of your L strobe on your altitude, run it out there to 80 miles, and that bottom altitude on your cursor will stay the same out to 80 miles, whereas it should get bigger, right? Because the Earth is curving away.
That's right.
Aha.
Yep.
The guy flew F-16s. Interesting. Let me see what I had over here. Oops. Oh God, what are they talking about? Saying the United States has gained new legal authority to take action against Venezuela after formally designating the Maduro network as a global drug trafficking organization. So you can just call somebody something and take action on it. What the fuck? This move strengthens Washington's ability to pursue those involved in narcotics operations linked to the regime, and signals a major shift in its approach to Caracas.
I know this is all rhetorical, but whatever happened to congressional approval for anything?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, I know it's all a bull crap anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you want to play by the rules and you want to say it's, you know, are we doing this anymore, or are we just all the rules that you supposedly make up are out the window?
They just think they can fast track everything.
They don't have to go through the court system like we
Nope.
do, and they don't have to go through Congress or any of that stuff. They just fast track, like you said, but it's like they don't even have to do it at all. It's just like whatever one of them says goes now. They don't have to do much of anything. Just stamp a auto pen your signature.
Right. And see this down here, this little blue spot's Venezuela. That little blue spot right there. And they're saying that those little speedboats are going all the way from here up to Florida. Look where that is. Look where Florida is.
I got a quick question. How did Venezuela get all the way over there?
I know, right? I know, it's like right in line with Maine,
Yeah.
you know? So this right here, but my God, look how little of a country that is and how big the United States is.
Mm-hmm.
Why, we'll whoop their ass in a week, right? That's what they said about Vietnam.
Fertile land.
That's what they said about Vietnam.
They got what we want.
Yep, the oil.
Which is funny. That's another promise of Trump's. I thought, drill, baby, drill. I thought we were gonna, cut all the red tape, and drill here. We got plenty. We probably got more oil than anyone, so they say. But
well, the thing is the Saudi Arabians have dumped the petrodollar deal.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what if we don't take control of a huge oil field, then we won't have people paying American currency for the oil.
Yeah.
You see, because nobody's having to pay Saudi Arabia that now. That's how that used to work, and it's over. Okay. Now, if we tried to buy our own oil and we sold it to other people, well, I guess you could go ahead and say, well, you have to purchase the oil with U.S. currency, but there it's sort of like paying yourself. It doesn't really work.
Yeah. I thought they said that the oil from there wasn't as clean as like what we have here and what we're getting from other, like Canada, let's say, and it was the process to making it was a lot more stringent, I guess. I don't know what word I was looking for, but anyway, the process to getting the cleaner oil, the better oil, makes you wonder,
well, yeah, it does. It does make you wonder, especially when there's been this huge push by everybody to make everything electric, make everything not have to be dependent on oil and everything. What the fuck? So they have no intention of doing that. But you gotta really think about this. It's not just for energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about everything that's around you right now. Just take a look wherever you're at right now. Take a look around you and imagine that if everything that was a petroleum-based product suddenly disappeared, what would be left?
Yeah, about 95% of it.
Yep. Damn near everything, even the paint on your walls.
Yeah.
So the plastic bags,
your little lifeline that everybody carries around,
coating, insulation on wires.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, there's so much that is dependent on the petroleum industry
your clothes
outside of the energy field.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of people don't realize gasoline is nothing more than a waste byproduct of the kerosene of processing kerosene. Right. Mm. And that's why they shut down the electric car and the water engine, because this was a more efficient way of getting rid of this toxic waste from producing kerosene.
Mhm.
That's why they backed the gasoline combustion engine. And when people found out, well, you know what, you can run them on alcohol too, and that's a lot cleaner and it's a lot cheaper. Well, then they came in with prohibition.
Plastic.
That's what prohibition was aimed at. It was aimed at energy and automobiles. It wasn't about people drinking alcohol, because the highest judges and officials in the land were tooting a drink now and then, even, you know?
Yeah.
So
Who's that one guy, Julian, I want to say his name is. Vlad has played some videos of him. Plastiline. He's turned plastic into gasoline. They don't want people doing that. I mean, he's not the first one to do that, but
no.
I'm just saying that, why they stop people from doing it is what I'm getting at, because they know that there's other forms. We've got tons. Look at all the plastic we got. We could be turning all this plastic into gasoline, and it'd be a whole lot more efficient and cheaper.
We've got
Probably
somebody
cleaner.
named Chang is trying to join the chat and join the
I
panel.
imagine it ain't that one guy from that one night, is it?
I don't know, but
My
Chang,
buddy, my best friend.
He's got a picture of a Chinese man on his little
It
avatar.
seems like that guy, but I don't know.
So Chang, what I'm going to ask you to do real quick, so I can verify that you're a person, while you're backstage, I can see you, no one else can. Can you please turn on your camera, and then I'm going to give you a series of instructions of something to do so that I can verify that you're a real person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for you to do that, and then we'll bring you up on panel. Sound good? Great.
America has just taken a huge step against Venezuela. The U.S. has officially labeled President Maduro and his group as a foreign terrorist organization. When the
Yeah, you have to appear on the camera, Chang, because I want you to do something. Okay?
U.S. does this, it means the American president can legally order airstrikes without needing any extra approval. So right now, President Trump could bomb Maduro if he decides to. The U.S. also said they will use all available tools to protect national security. And this is happening at the same time the U.S. has moved more than 15,000 troops into the Caribbean, which shows how serious the situation is. But Venezuela isn't sitting quietly. President Maduro has already prepared over 200,000 troops for a possible war, with the U.S. Venezuela called the U.S. terrorist label a ridiculous fabrication. There are some reports claiming that Trump and Maduro might actually be talking behind the scenes, but none of this is confirmed. Officially, the U.S. says they cut all contact with Venezuela months ago. What we do know for sure is this. With this new U.S. designation, President Trump now has the legal power to launch an airstrike on Maduro at any time. Follow for more global news.
All right, so Chang, whenever you got that time, you go ahead and turn that camera on, then I'll have you do something. So this is getting fucking serious. This is getting really fucking serious. And I'm afraid that, well, I'm not afraid. I can almost see it like it was already written. We're full of ourselves. The U.S., I'm talking. U.S. is full of themselves. They believe their own propaganda. Okay? Let's not forget, we thought we were the mightiest fucking shit in the world, and look how long it took them just to take one fucking city in Iraq.
Yeah.
Does anybody recall Fallujah? That was a shit show. That was a complete and utter shit show. To all the U.S. service members out there, I'd like to tell you, dude, I feel bad for you. You're about to get fucked. You're about to get fucked. You're about to go fight in terrain that you don't know, under conditions that you don't know, against people who are born and raised in that conditions.
That's
and
the big problem.
and they're fighting for their homes. They're fighting for their land.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're doing it for a fucking college money.
Yeah.
Okay. So when them bullets come whizzing right by you and you shit your pants because of it, you just think about that college degree. Go ahead. Makes me sick.
Yeah, I mean, that's no matter how much you prepare on your own land to go on someone else's land, is nothing like that once you get there. Those people have been living, they know that whole terrain. They've lived there all their lives, and there's certain circumstances you're going to have no clue about, even though you've trained, so to speak, in those types of environments. But it can't prepare you for what you actually walk into. Same with Vietnam,
Yep.
same thing. Anywhere
Exactly.
they go. And it would be the same for, let's say, hypothetically, I don't like to do that, but hypothetically Russia comes over here, right? Well, we know our land the best too. It'd be hard for them too. It's just a matter of where you live and knowing your surroundings. Because
see, look. Did you read this shit back here?
No, I haven't been looking at it.
I'm real. I don't pee bomb. If
Okay,
you know
great.
me, if you know me, you know I don't do that. I don't know you. Put a banner up if you don't trust me. Well, there is a banner up. Why don't you just do it while you're backstage?
Ask him if he was the guy who
He's
came
gone now. He's
okay.
He gave up.
Never mind.
Yeah. So no, we're not gonna do that, guy. It's all you have to do is turn your camera on. I know you got a camera because you turned it on, but you wouldn't put it on yourself. So you're probably just one of those. Probably Sean Hawkins.
That should just be an automatic at this point. It's like just turn your camera on.
Yep. Well, like that dude yesterday, when he first was backstage and shit, he had a camera on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand if you've been here before and people
Right.
you cam down or whatever, but yeah.
It's like there's no reason to have Roger do that. Although a lot of times he'll come up with some kind of fucking weird name that you don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's almost a daily.
He changes it every time. So.
I know. That's his thing.
That's what I done with Wesley. I changed his name.
Yeah, I know.
That was funny. But at that point, we all know what he is. He's just a fucking troll. He doesn't really know anything. So whatever. We're like fucking pandas. Chad wanted 4 orders of some young guy and didn't pay.
Uh-oh. I gotta go.
Uh-oh. Oh, look. The same little avatar that Chang was using backstage. See there?
Shoot.
So, what a shit.
Something Wong.
Something Wong. That's his uncle right there.
We're talking about the largest reserves of oil in the world that will be doing business with the American oil companies. And that is something that I have made very sure that they understand. American companies in Venezuela for the next 100 years.
All right. Well, you heard it. It's imminent in just days. Congresswoman Maria Salazar.
Thank God for small favors and for President Trump. We're talking.
What the fuck?
Why was Fox playing on RT News? I didn't quite understand that. But.
Well, RT, the whole thing says U.S. and Venezuela in just days gets world largest oil reserve for the next 100 years. Drooling Congresswoman just blurted the real plot.
Yeah.
In question mark. That's why RT put it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's going to be like another Vietnam. Oh, this is pretty good too. This is pretty good. Let's see what this comes about. I got the closed captioning on too, but I think it's loud enough. Some of those are really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Charlie Kirk had no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site or grave, no official death certificate. Why has no official autopsy been conducted, nor any findings released? No ballistics report, not a single eyewitness on the record, and an award-winning widow already taking over his show. Why was the entire crime scene destroyed within hours, erasing vital evidence? They tore down everything, including the Dairy Queen. Why were there no paramedics on the scene? Why was Charlie Kirk's body removed and illegally flown out on Air Force Two? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow looms over this case? Why was the stadium mysteriously booked by Turning Point 4 months before his death? How was a massive high-tech stadium memorial produced in only 11 days? Why do multiple women publicly appear as Erica Kirk, raising questions of identity? Why are there no birth certificates for their children? No names revealed, no faces ever shown? Where is a video of Charlie playing with his kids at a birthday party, or picnic, or any other family setting? Why do Freemasonic and satanic symbols surround this tragedy with chilling precision? Interesting that the gun was found on property owned by Palantir. Isn't it interesting Kash Patel fired many of the heads of the FBI in that area days before the shooting? Do you find it interesting that Charlie sold his house 8 months ago for $5 million? If the father of your 2 young children was just brutally murdered for the world to see days ago, do you leave them home with the nanny while you go on podcasts grinning from ear to ear? Is it not curious that a 17-year-old first-time Donald Trump beauty pageant contestant won, and now Trump appointed a top attorney general woman who has no experience, who was also in his beauty pageant? This is only a fraction of the clues and evidence on this psyop. For those of you brave enough to look at the evidence while removing the preconceived emotions, the conclusion is
So it kind of leaves it open. What's your conclusion on that? Psyop.
What was the thing about the gun being left on Palantir-owned land or whatever? I didn't.
Yeah, the property that they found the gun was
Yeah.
was owned by Palantir.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh man, this whole thing stinks from all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that they're still though going by he was shot, but that right there leaves it open. It's
Yeah.
like he said, there's no autopsy. None of this was real. I don't think he was even really married to her. I think that those were just characters. There really was no Charlie Kirk. That was a character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why I think they put these people in witness protection somewhere, and then later on, you know, just a theory of mine, but later on they come back as like a politician or another actor or whatever, you know.
Right. Well,
Then you
didn't
see
he
him.
have like any best friends or anything like that while he was
Candace
growing up?
Owens, apparently.
Yeah, the only one who happens to be
Yeah.
a face on the fucking tube. See,
Yeah.
that's what I got to wonder about all the time. Jesus. Look at this propaganda. This is from Defense Intelligence. I stand with Venezuela.
Change your profile pic.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, put the flag on.
Make it a Venezuelan flag.
Yeah.
Because I do. I mean, I'm always for whoever's got the moral high ground.
I stand with Venezuelans women.
Yeah, no shit. But you know, like even with Russia and everything. Now, listen, I was Cold War baby. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was in the heat of the Cold War. Does that sound stupid?
Yeah.
The heat of the Cold War. But I mean, there's a lot of fucking shit going on when I was in the army, and especially where I was at. I mean, we were right there, pretty much front lines to communism and East Germany and Russia, all that, right? And so I said, you know, I look now at why I have that thing about Russia. You know, there's like, oh, you know, you get this fear as soon as you hear about Russians and shit, because we were told they're going to vaporize us any day. Oh yeah, you know, scared to death.
Well,
and now I realize that was all fucking propaganda. And now I watch this Ukraine Russia thing, and I'm like, Ukraine's definitely got the fucking high ground on this, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't stand with Ukraine. Russia's pretty based.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Putin. I don't like any fucking authoritarian at all, but I mean, he's he's better than Trump. I would tell you that.
Yeah.
I would
They're
think
all
he's better than
actors to a
Trump.
degree, but
Yeah. So I kind of like, when I'm looking at that whole thing, my tendency is to go with whoever's in the right. And that's why I go with Russia. And in this case right here, we have no authority over Venezuela. You could just as easily have your Coast Guard around Florida where you think these drugs are coming in. You can pick up those boats on radar. You can arrest those people. You can detain them, whatever the fuck you want to. You don't have to go to Venezuela and say, look, that's a drug boat. Boom. How do you know? Well, some intelligence we got from Israel or some shit like that. No, that doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. You don't have that right, and we know why you're going in there. It's not about fentanyl. It's not about any other goddamn thing, because you don't fucking care about that. It's about that oil. About that oil. Okay? George Bush III. Fucking asshole.
But yeah, I mean, so, you know, I can see what these kids now going into the military are. I've been there before, so I went in the thick of 9/11, right? So I went to basic training. You went to AIT. I had no time to think about nothing. Then I got assigned to Fort Hood, my duty station. I was there a couple months. Then all of a sudden, guess what? we're training for desert warfare, right? Well, you don't think nothing of it. You're just doing your thing, you know, doing military training. And then what do you know comes right after all that, a couple months, not even a couple, once I did desert training over in Kuwait, it's like, oh, then 9/11 happens. And it's like, oh, wow, we still had a base in Kuwait even after the first Desert Storm, you know? And it's like all these things come rushing at you. You don't think about them at the time, but now that I've had time to look back on them, it's like, oh, man, they're just prepping us for that the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, that we were training for this exact thing before it even happened, you know?
Sure.
And I couldn't even see it in the moment. It wasn't until afterwards that I'm like, oh, shit. Like they knew they were going to do this before it even happened. And it's no different than all the rest of them, I'm sure.
I wonder if there was a lot of training exercises being down in Fort Rucker.
Where's that one at?
Fort Rucker, Louisiana.
I think Fort Polk does it a lot.
It's a swamp.
Yeah, Fort Polk's
fucking place is like a rainforest swamp, man.
Yeah, a lot of it Fort Polk, and then Fort Irwin.
Where's in Alabama? Wait a second.
Rucker might be Alabama. Fort Polk's in Louisiana, and that's the swampy one if that's what you're thinking. And then Fort Irwin is the National Training Center out in California, which they do a lot of their desert training.
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, okay.
It's right near Louisiana.
And then Bennings, Georgia, and then
Bennington, Georgia.
North Carolina is airborne.
Bragg.
Bragg, there you go.
Yeah. You got Bragg, and you got Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's a basic training.
It's basic training, but it's also they've got a reactionary force there too.
I did AIT at Proving Grounds in Maryland. Aberdeen, Maryland.
Aberdeen, yeah.
Yeah. And then
I heard that was a good place to get stationed at, man.
It was actually, but I only did AIT there. I tried to stay there, but then they're like, "Oh, you're going to the hood, buddy," which is about 60% of people usually. That place is humongous.
When I took my AIT, we went down. I was signal, so went down to Fort Gordon, Georgia, and that's right there in Augusta, right at the South Carolina border.
Hot place, yeah.
Oh yeah, it ain't bad though. When I was there in like May, I think. Yeah, April. Okay. And so it wasn't bad at all. And I remember, man, that place was like a college campus.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great, man. But I was radio teletype. So where'd I go? I went to this area called Brems Barracks, and it was those metal fucking open bay. Fucking barracks with all the bunks just in a line in there, like in jail or some shit. And concrete floor.
The old World War, type barracks, right?
Man, that place sucked, man. The rest of the campus was fucking badass, man. Or campus, the fort. Yeah. It was like a college campus, brick buildings, like dorm rooms and shit. Not where I was. Fuck no.
Fort Hood was literally like the hood. Like we would go out to the field for training, right? And the guys would park their cars. Some of the guys would park their cars in the motor pool. Well, there's so many gangs in the surrounding area at Killeen. Somebody had tipped them off. They'd come and everybody's car was on blocks when they got back. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be a military secured place. You got people stealing people's tires and radios and shit when you're out in the field. It's like great security, guys. Yeah, but then 9/11 came and then it was all locked down from there. So
yeah, Killeen's kind of a little bit of a shady town. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Augusta's not really too bad, the town, but one of the guys that was in my platoon, he was from Thompson, Georgia, which is just like 10 miles away from Augusta, and his dad was the sheriff of that town, and so his dad had a membership at the Augusta Golf Club, the Augusta Country Club. And so we'd sometimes on weekends, me and that dude, we called him Gumby. We'd go to we'd go there and play on the Augusta course, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I ain't worth a shit at golf, but
yeah, my grandpa always called it gopher ball. Hit the ball and then go for it.
Yep, that's about it. I don't know what my average is. I don't know anything.
It's fun if you're just there to have fun doing it, but I'd never do it as like a serious thing. But yeah.
I mean, this is what we got down here, man, right now.
Yeah.
Get ready for some Venezuelan war babies. That's what we got down there right now. That's what we're doing. We're flying all these shit. We're
Who was
enforcing
it
the
that we were
no-fly.
talking about selling the F-35s to, or they might have already?
I think Israel.
Was it? Yeah, I think you're right. That's wild. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, let's sell out the latest and greatest thing we have to somebody else so they can
Uh-huh.
deconstruct it. And
yeah, listen, we're done. We're done. This nation, the United States, as we know it, is done, and they're gonna take complete, utter control over us if we don't fucking stand up. If you can hear my voice right now, just say no.
Yeah.
Okay, to the digital ID, to injections, to any of it. Just say fucking no. Okay. Sorry, Nancy. I had to borrow that from you, but you're still a cool dude, man.
We're from the government and we're here to help.
Yeah, we're from the government. We're here to help. No, you ain't, motherfucker. Listen, I have more fear of the United States government than I ever did of Russia, Venezuela, China, any of the rest of that. You know why? Because I ain't never had Venezuela fuck with me. I ain't never had China fuck with me. You know who I have had fuck with me? My own goddamn government that's supposed to be looking out for me, right? No, they try to fuck me at every turn.
That's a fact. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right on. So y'all need to stop bending over and tying your wrist to a post so you can be serviced. Stop thanking people for their service. That ain't service. That's fucking invasion. That's destruction of people's homes and their lands. All for the greed of corporate fucking fat cats. That's all it's for, man. People need to wake up and realize that shit like right now, because it's getting bad.
Well, America, you ready to be at war with Venezuela? Because that's what you got. Donald Trump just announced that he's closed the airspace over that country. And because, one, that's a violation of their sovereignty. And number two, because it's being enforced with our military, it constitutes an act of war. So that's where we're at. No congressional oversight, no declaration of war. It's based upon a foundation of lies from saying TDA was a gang connected to Maduro that was wreaking havoc in America, to saying he's a narco trafficker and responsible for drugs coming into the US, when in fact he supplies those drugs to Europe. And on top of all that, he just let the former president of Honduras, who brought 400 tons into this country, facing 45 years in prison. He pardoned him. He doesn't give a shit about drugs. So we're starting a war. Don't know why. Nobody knows what's going on. It's going to go bad because if you look at the trajectory into it, it's the worst we've had in modern history. So buckle up.
What do y'all think about that, man? Let's see. What's anybody got to say? I'm all out of bubble gum. You know, he ad-libbed that line in that movie. Funny. I know a lot about that movie. That's a great one too, man. If you've never seen They Live, you need to see it. Absolutely. It's one of my top wake-up movies that I like to tell people to watch. Here's good old Pete the Sneak himself.
I actually didn't see that till later on.
What's that?
They Live.
Oh, They Live? Yeah, it was what, 88 is when it came out. Yeah. See, that's the problem. People are like, oh, we don't want any old movies. We just want to look at new movies. And it's like, dude, they're telling you what's going on right the fuck now back then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where you need to look. Go back 20, 30, 40 years and you'll see it. It's in it. Look at Mel Gibson in Conspiracy Theory. Good old Jerry Fletcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watch it now. Back then, it was like, oh yeah, it's like what those fucking tinfoil hat people say, that kind of dumb shit, you know. You
Yeah.
listen to him now. You listen to that beginning now. He's talking to people in his cab, and everything he fucking says is spot on true.
I know.
It's like, what?
That's a perfect example too, because you got to. There's so many movies you got to watch with new eyes. Like that one, for example, is a perfect one. Conspiracy.
Exactly. And then it goes right into it, throws it right in your face about the MK Ultra.
Yeah, I know.
Which used to be a conspiracy theory. Everybody knows that was fucking real now, you know? Good Lord.
He was talking about climate change and everything, all that stuff.
See, now that guy that was on last night, he knows about this shit.
Yeah, I know.
Right? He's on to this, right? But so I'm like, so the government and shit has lied to you about every other motherfucking thing except that.
Right. Yeah.
Except that one thing that you don't have a firsthand observation of. Really? Come on, man.
I know. I can't fathom how that's the one thing you're hung up on. Like,
it was funny. He after the show, he messaged me, and let me see here if I can see it.
And then what did he say? He's like, "Yeah, me and Saab just don't like each other." It's like, how do you know that? Honestly, it's like just because you had a few interactions on Facebook that weren't positive. It's like for the most part. I mean, I know you guys are going at it during the debate, but after the debate, you found a lot of common ground.
Well, he was really, really quite hostile and hateful in his communications with me on Facebook.
No, yeah,
he really was. So I wasn't liking him a whole lot, but I mean, I wasn't going to hate on him. But you know, don't hit me with that fucking holier than thou bullshit when you're sitting there talking in circles. It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave. And I'm like, oh fuck, man. But he says, this was after the thing. He says, I stick with my previous. I still don't like you, but I will say thank you for letting me come. You did what I thought you would, but I actually enjoyed that. You did pick up on some holes I need to fill up on, so we'll work on that. I will prove you wrong, though. And he goes, oh, yeah, and happy birthday for next week, fuckface. I had to do it. You'd be disappointed if I didn't. So he wants to come on again. I messaged him later and I said, we got 1.8 thousand views on YouTube. He says, cool. We will go again soon. I said, anytime. I said, I pin a StreamYard link on the chat for every show. He goes, cool. I will give you a shout to arrange around 2. Well, if I can be there at 2.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of times, but I know it's got to work for everybody.
You know, I went out of my way to accommodate him.
Yeah.
So
I didn't. He kept being so like one wordy and vague, and it's like I didn't want to lead the witness, so to speak.
Right.
I was like he would just say like clouds. I'm like, well, do you want to expand on? I didn't want, as a mod, you're not really supposed to help him out or anything.
Right.
Kind of like, dude, you just keep giving these one word answers.
I know.
And it's like when I put you guys on the timer thing, he did a lot better with that. When he knew he couldn't just dismiss oh, is he just going to talk over me and use that tactic, that kind of thing. It's like once he knew he had a certain amount of time, then he had a little bit more to say.
That's about it, Gord. That's about it right there. That's exactly what I thought.
Dog-faced pony soldier.
Yeah, I screwed up and didn't start it on Rumble on time because I forgot to put it on the StreamYard. And so, oh, good, that's up. So this is live right now.
I think it would be a lot more helpful to have like a timer,
yeah,
because you guys did really well with that once, especially for his side. Once he knew that it was a specific amount of time that he talked a little bit more.
So I'm in the process of uploading that entire stream onto Rumble because Rumble didn't get the whole thing, and hopefully that will be up there soon. It's taken a long fucking time to upload. So anyway, I'm back here.
I enjoyed Kevin Bacon on Flashdance.
Flashdance?
Isn't that what he was in?
No,
that wasn't him. What the hell am I thinking?
Footloose.
Flashdance. Same
Flash
thing.
dance.
Same
Yeah,
dumb
Flash
look.
dance was a little
Yeah.
bit different. That was, who was that?
I don't remember now.
Can't even remember who. Jennifer something. She was kind of hot, Hollywood hot for a while, and then like faded off into obscurity. But yeah, I enjoy that movie too, because Kevin Bacon told us that if you ever have a lot of problems and frustration, it can be cured with some angry warehouse dancing.
Right.
And I've tried that in angry warehouse dancing, and you really don't want people to watch. So make sure you're alone. I was in a full warehouse. In fact, I was in the Home Depot and I got thrown out. So don't do angry warehouse dancing at Home Depot. Find an empty one.
Mr. Secretary, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone. 100,000 Americans were killed each year under the previous administration because of an open border and open drug traffic flow.
Was there an
That is an
imminent-
assault on the American people. I said we smoked a drug boat, and there's 11 narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean. And when other people try to do that, they're going to meet the same fate.
Mr. Secretary, what
Let me get this straight. You sunk boats that were off the coast of Venezuela without any due process. No due process whatsoever. Merely labeled them as drug traffickers. Have recovered no drugs. You've not brought in any prisoners, with which, if there were survivors, you would want to pick one of those up or two of them up and maybe interrogate them, offer them a deal so that you can get intel from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going back and killing them. This is illegal as shit.
Yeah.
You just killed citizens of a sovereign nation, regardless of what you thought they were doing. Okay. What was that? Acting on pre-crime?
Yeah.
What violation of United States law did those people break? The best that you can do, I don't give a fuck if they've got a goddamn ocean liner full of cocaine. You don't have any authority over it until it crosses into your sea space. That's it.
Yeah.
Once it gets into your territory, now you have jurisdiction. On the open seas, there is no jurisdiction.
International waters.
That's right. There's places that you can go where it's illegal to gamble in that state, but they have boats that'll take you out past into international waters, and then they open up the casino. And you can gamble all day, all night, right? And then when they head back to the United States, they shut down the casino because they can't have it within that waters. So that's where you have jurisdiction, Hegseth, not off the coast of Venezuela. I don't give a fuck if there's big, huge ocean vessels full of fentanyl hanging out down there and sailing around. Don't give a shit whatsoever until it comes into U.S. waters. And that's why we have a thing called the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, yeah.
So everything they're doing right now at your expense, and it's going to be at the expense of your kids, is completely illegal. We are the bad guys right now. That's just no other way to put it. We are the bad guys.
Man, at the expense of your wallet, because that's your tax dollars at work.
Yeah.
Well, not at work, but.
So this is kind of weird. Some guy claims to have tagged the moon with a laser.
Okay. Joe Cool?
Joe Cool? No, it wasn't Joe Cool. I'd know his voice anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. I'd know his voice anywhere. No, this is.
Oh, yeah. Totally
man
believable.
tagged the moon with a laser.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
85 miles.
All right.
Let's look at that again.
Good old TikTok.
The world
Anything
record
possible on
for a
TikTok.
handheld laser pointer is about 85 miles.
85 miles with a handheld laser pointer.
Yeah.
That seems a
It's a
bit
world record.
exaggerated, if you ask me, but I don't know.
Set by a Wicked Lasers S3 Krypton model, which is the most powerful handheld laser ever made.
Those are the ones you get on like the Rumble commercials, right?
Right. Those ones order now, banned by the military, you know. Sure it
And
is.
if you order now, you can get a second for free.
The distance of the moon makes. Oh, here. So the readers added context on there. It says misleading. While a laser pointer can reach the moon, the distance of the moon makes the laser light so spread out it's unrecognizable to the human eye. Powerful lasers are often used to measure the distance to the moon. Sure they are.
What all would it have to cut through just to get there?
Right? Is it really
those gases? Oh, I'm just
is it really 237,000 miles
There you
away?
go.
Is it really? Oh, the Overlook. Oh, welcome to the Overlook. Come play with us.
That's funny. I've never been to that place. I'd like to check it out at least once.
I would too. I said that's not from there. I ordered this online.
Yeah.
I just on one day and I was like, oh, I gotta have those. It's just a hotel key fob.
A friend of mine went to it.
Did he really?
Yeah, she did, yeah. Her and her boyfriend, I think.
This guy, I don't know about this guy. He always looks like somebody made his hair, right? Like
sprayed it on.
Like that Black Vulcan on which show, which one of them Star Treks was it had the Black Vulcan? Was that on Voyager? Was that on Voyager?
I'm not
Or
good
was
with
that
Star.
on-
I didn't really watch Star Trek.
Or was that on Enterprise? Might have been on Enterprise. That was a cool series. That was after James Kirk, but before the Next Generation.
James Kirk is probably the only one I really watched a little bit of. I never really got into Star Trek very much.
We used to play a game where if somebody yelled it, you had to start doing it, and it was called Shatner. No matter what you were doing, if somebody went Shatner, and they'd go, "We have to believe that," and you start acting like Shatner.
That delayed cadence.
Yeah. This one guy I knew, he's dead now, but that dude was perfect.
I just knew how to do the Spock.
What was it? We watched one of them the other night. First Contact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where they had to go back and they went back in
Oh,
time.
yeah. Is that with Chris Pine? Or
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a Next Generation movie with Picard. and all
Oh,
this.
Okay.
And
I did watch the one with Chris Pine, whichever one that is.
Oh yeah, I like those. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But the one this one was they had to go back and make sure that the guy who invented warp drive actually went through his mission. It had the Borg in it. It was really good. And
maybe I did watch that.
What the hell was that?
Was that where he played like both parts, where he was the Borg too?
No. This was, but the Borg. What they had done is the Borg.
I don't know much about them.
A small Borg ship had gone back in time,
Mm-hmm.
and the Enterprise followed it,
Mm-hmm.
and it had gone back in time, and it went to Earth and was trying to stop the invention of warp drive. And so they were targeting the place where the guy did it. And the guy that did it, he was just like a drunk and shit. He wasn't nothing like the hero that everybody thought that he was and shit. It was pretty. I forgot what I was telling you about that. But anyway, you could tell it was something weird too, because the uniforms were slightly different. And it was like, oh, we're in an alternate time. Okay, I got it.
I feel like there was one where Captain Picard played like a different like he played two parts, like he was the bad guy and the good guy.
Well, he ended up getting captured by the Borg.
Oh, is that what it was?
They turned him into his name was Locutus.
Okay.
And yeah, he was a Borg, but then they captured him back and they were able to, over a period of time, remove the Borg implants from him.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because he was even still, because of his knowledge of being a Borg, he was able to navigate through inside the ship without the Borg fucking with him.
Okay.
The Borg, those are Globers. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Shit. Anyway.
Learning new details about one of those deadly U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean, sources tell CNN the U.S. military carried out a follow-up strike on September 2nd after becoming aware of survivors in the water. The sources tell us that prior to the strike, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth had ordered the military to ensure everyone on board was killed. People briefed on the, quote, double tap strike say they're concerned that it could violate the law of armed conflict, which prohibits the execution of an enemy combatant who is taken out of the fight due to injury or surrender. Now, since September, as you're seeing on your screen here, the U.S. military has carried out at least 21 known strikes on suspected drug trafficking boats, killing at least 83 people. Officials have also acknowledged, though, not knowing the identities of everyone on board before they are struck. And this development comes as President Trump says the U.S. military will soon begin land strikes on alleged drug trafficking networks in Venezuela. We're learning
Drug trafficking sites in Venezuela.
Thought this guy was the peacetime president.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, right?
That was his mom.
I mean, he's been, remember when I said I think he represents Janus? A lot of people said he's Apollo or Apollyon.
Yeah.
I think he's like Janus, the two-faced god. You know, he says one thing and does another.
More accurate.
Yeah. I mean, look at, and he told everybody, and people were like, I bet he's talking about Hillary. I was like, no, baby, he's talking about himself.
Or all of them.
Yeah, well, you knew I was a snake before you took me in, old woman.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of his base was the old people. That really was.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's fucked up, man. I don't think how movies are made. Yeah, we've seen this before where they stage in that. Did I send you that, Cubby? I don't think I got my phone in here.
Not sure.
That thing, it was like I'll get it. I know where to get it. Hold on. See, I sent it to the wife.
I haven't really looked at the comments to that whole debate. Was there a lot of responses?
Yeah. Actually, there was. We can pull some up here in just a minute. Damn it, I did it again. Looking for the wrong one again. Let me see.
Man, I kind of have a figure how most of them would go, but I suppose you get a little bit of everything.
Shit, I didn't send it. I sent it to somebody. I know I used it in
Who was that one person?
Let's see.
What was it?
I'll get it off my phone in just a minute. I forget.
I was just looking out.
I sent it to. Jesus. Well, ain't that nice? All right. Where am I at?
Oh boy, the poll is quite swayed one way.
Is it really? Let's take a look at it real quick.
92% after school. I figured it would kind of go that way. But it's good to see some people voted the other way too.
92% say after school.
I'd have to be in that 92 percentile.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I to tell you the truth, I mean, early on in school, I was like, in elementary school, I was like, I already know this shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I even here for? You know,
I was just so bored. Like, it just bored me. It wasn't, you know, I always, when I was younger, I'd tell people, like, I didn't do well in school. Well, I don't think it was I didn't do well. I was just so bored with it. I was like, it wasn't interesting. You know, you got to keep my attention. It has to be useful information, something I can put into practical use. And that's why most of it came after school and stuff, or even just learning from my grandpa or whoever, you know, my stepdad too. You know, real life practical situations, you know, working on a house, you know, working on a car, stuff that you can actually do tangible things with.
Right. When did this
But,
go to?
you know, in school, you know, there's very little, maybe, I don't know, keyboard skills, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think offhand. I guess learning how to read and write. I don't know. I presume even if I didn't go to school, I would have been able to learn to read and write. But
Well, no, I got to say, I learned how to read before I went to school.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
You
think
know?
that, yeah, your parents kind of teach you a little bit of that prior to that. But
Right. Right. My mom was, you know, and it was real simple. You know, I
yeah,
had these like little cards and shit with the alphabet on it, you know.
I guess I
And
learned cursive in school, so there is that. But
yeah, which is a good thing.
yeah,
They're not teaching that anymore because AI can't read it.
yeah,
And that's why.
yeah. But they're minimal, you know. For the most part, it was minimal what I did get out of it. You know, as far as actual, the most useful stuff that I learned came after school.
And they're making all the rhetoric. The U.S. Let's see, Vice President of Venezuela said the U.S. intends to seize the vast oil reserves of our country, the largest in the world, through the use of military force. Venezuela will remain firm in the defense of its natural energy resources. Nothing will stop us. This is going to be bad. So it says here that the U.S. tested Minuteman missiles as Russia reportedly sends air defense systems to Venezuela.
140 people voted on that too. That was more than the 120 that was here when they first started the poll. So
Wow.
And there's 163 here now, so pretty good
That's
ratio there.
That is. Wow, we're doing really nice.
Good
tonight.
job, people.
What do we
Way to
got
read
over-
instructions.
Let's see, that thing is 49%. Jesus Christ, it's taking all night. Let me see who I can't see who that is. Somebody said, see, I got my pinned comment blocks the fucking thing. I don't think anybody's coming from up
Are
here.
you one of those people that keeps 8,000 tabs open or no?
I do have a lot of tabs open right now. I'm looking over on Rumble to see Marcy Chan's over there. In the chat, but there's
I
other
can't
people.
have too many going. That really.
Well, I got two screens.
Yeah,
I got two screens, so that makes it a little easier. And I have them kind of categorized in my mind for what they are.
Okay.
This over here is all utilities. This over here is all like videos and shit like that.
Gotcha.
That's why if you send a video, it'll pop up over here, but I'll drag it over there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't think I could ever go back to just one monitor again.
Yeah, I've got a second monitor. I haven't hooked it up yet. I just opened up my MacBook today and trying to. It's a whole nother learning curve for me. I mean, I know for the most part how to use it. Don't get me wrong. I have an iPhone and an iPad, but it is still a lot of differences from even that. And I've used a few older Macs, but it's a slight adjustment. I'll get used to it.
Look at here. There's Jim Annis is with us here tonight. We got X-Blade Baby. Gordzilla's here. W Foat. Foat. Foatt. Sue Ratio's over here. Seabass. Renee Bernays, of course. We got Kevin Bacon. You mentioned him earlier. Thank you for the Angry Warehouse dancing lessons, sir.
Thanks for the flash dance.
Yeah, the flash dance. Mikey Smith's over here. We got Dr. Bass, reverse psychologist, right on. Sarah Inland Sea. We got a whole bunch of people. There's 164 people over here on the YouTube side. That's pretty good. As you know, we it's almost, what is that up to now from yesterday?
What's
that
up?
Debate. Let's see what we got on YouTube. The debate from last night has 1.8 thousand
There you
views.
go.
That's pretty good. 65 comments.
It's pretty good for one day.
Yeah, man. Look here. Look who
Yeah,
just rolled
D-Man,
in.
you can take
What's
my
up?
spot here.
Why? Where you going?
I'm gonna eat real quick, and I might have to snowball real quick. I'll be back, but
Oh, you can keep the snow. I don't want it.
I know.
No, we haven't got none here yet. Thank
Tomorrow
God. It's
we're
supposed
gonna
to-
get hit.
Well, it's going to rain here tomorrow, is what they say.
That's why I'm kind of distracted. I'm like thinking about that and trying to do this at the same time, but in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, should I do it?
Got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I'll probably go here in a second.
Anyway, here's more of that. I hear that token going on. I hear that. My ears are tuned to that, and my nose is tuned to that skunky smell. That's what I get.
Oh, jeez, man! I went to the store earlier. It smelled like a dispensary.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is about like the snow too. It's like the heightened senses or something. The smell.
Yeah.
Sense just,
It's the cold.
Oh, buddy.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it was like walking in. It
See?
wasn't. I take that back. It wasn't like a dispensary. It smelled more like that Mexican brickweed you used to get.
Oh my God.
That compressed crap.
There's a difference. There's a difference between the two. Yeah, that compressed stuff.
You never knew what you were gonna get.
Used to. Yeah, no, it was always a surprise. I kind of liked it better that way. It's like, is it gonna be in the couch tonight, or am I gonna be zooming?
Hell, look how you ought to see how Colorado decorates. These are the Christmas lights. I'll show you after this video. It's pretty fucking crazy. Anyway, this is real short, and I gotta pee.
Breaking news. The United States has conducted a test launch of the Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, capable of carrying nuclear warheads. And at the same time, Russia has delivered advanced air defense systems to Venezuela on November 5. This move indirectly shows that tensions between the US and Russia are escalating. Trump claims it is preparing to strike Venezuela under the excuse of drug trafficking. But in Putin's eyes, Trump is simply looking for cheap oil. In recent months, several Russian oil refineries have been destroyed by Ukrainian attacks, leaving Moscow short of fuel and urgently seeking oil support from other nations. And Venezuela has become its best ally. Analysts believe that these actions by both the US and Russia could reshape the balance of power in the Western Hemisphere and might mark the start of a new type of Cold War. As technology evolves, traditional geopolitical advantages are fading. Even China demonstrated its global strike capability. Now, even America's neighbor Venezuela is a place where Russia and China can easily step in.
Whoa. This could escalate quickly, man.
Yep.
It could escalate really quickly.
Did you? I saw you. I saw you commented on my. You replied on my comment about the scrolling the page.
Yeah,
Holy
man.
Jesus.
I saw that.
I didn't see it until after when I rewatched it.
Yeah, I was like, I saw that tune thing. I went, oh, come the fuck on.
Oh man.
Let me see, what was that? Oh yeah, this is Colorado.
I found a few cool videos yesterday.
Christmas lights, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Wish they do that in friggin' my state. Every friggin' state around me, it's legal. It's legal in Maine. It's legal in Vermont. It's legal in Massachusetts. It's legal in Connecticut. It's legal in Rhode Island. It's legal friggin' everywhere. New York, New Jersey. It's legal everywhere except friggin' here.
Just a handful.
This state
Well,
is so stupid.
I know the mayor, so I'm going to ask if they can decorate our little town with them, man. So at the very least, it'll get us on Facebook. I mean, come on. I'm trying to see if I
haven't smoked in about, let's see, 2021, I think was the last time I smoked. But there ain't a day that goes by where I don't still want to.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is what I was looking for. That's us. That's the United States right there. Right there. This guy's pulling some shit and it's not cool. He's pulling some shit and it's not cool. Finding more and more. That's all that's on this thing right now. Venezuelans want peace. Americans want peace. We need to mind our own business. Is that in English? Hold on. No, it's in Spanish. Oh my God. Okay, flight aware. Time lapse Venezuela airspace now looks like officially closed. Something may happen in the next 48 hours.
Oh, let's go to Pete Sync. Let's go see what they say.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, there's the thing. I'm on. This is on X. That's right. Let me get rid of that. Pull up this. They staying the fuck out of there.
Looks like Israel.
What are these things?
Which?
Some of these, I guess they're smaller planes.
Oh, those are NASA balloons.
Most likely. Drones. But yeah, that's right now. That was 16 hours ago. Said 48 hours, so probably.
There's critical Polypulse.
Wednesday.
Polypulse is saying it's critical. China and Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine is up, and USA and Venezuela is about the same. It's about the same level as it was a while ago, but it's flashing red. That's critical.
Let's see.
Peasant.
What's Polypulse
index?
Yeah.
What's Polypulse?
It's like a statistics website. Shows trends and.
So, for those of you that are not aware, the Pentagon Pizza Index. People are like, what? Well, years ago, the Russians found a very clandestine way to gather intel on whether or not shit was heating up or not, based on pizza deliveries around the Pentagon. And based on that, like people after hours being there late at night and they'd ordering pizza and shit would indicate that there was something about to take place. So this is DEFCON 4, Increased Intelligence Watch. So here we got this red right here, which indicates that it's busier than usual. You see the red line is above that. This over here, District Pizza Palace, look at that, as opposed to what it normally would be. The 222% spike in the order pizzas from this place. And then what they do is they map that out.
There it is. So the Gay Bach report.
Got the Gay report. Got the Lindsey Graham report.
It's quiet.
Where's that map at that shows the pizza joints?
Oh,
it's up at the top.
Yeah, it's up towards the top. Hold on. It's
they got Cosmic Pizza on there.
Where it says cards under DEFCON 4, it says cards, and it says map.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. All right, so here we go. So let me scroll down here. Now we can see that this is the gay bar right here, spiky. Oh no, District Pizza Palace, Crystal City, is spiked at 222%. And these are pizzas going to the Pentagon, which means that there's a full staff in there working.
Yep.
That they don't have time to get away from what they're doing for mess hall or whatever. They're just going to eat pizza while they're working.
Yeah, they didn't pack any Beyond Meat lunches, so they're going right for pizza.
No. Huh. So that's rather interesting.
You'd think they'd be packing a lot of meat in there, actually.
Well, it says here that the gay clubs are quieter than usual.
Yeah, well, I'm at the Pentagon.
Yeah, see, here's a gay club up here. Quiet, 7% by 7%.
What's the name of it?
The little gay pub. Which means that they're probably working instead of, sucking dick at the gay club or whatever they do there. This is another one. So this one's quiet too by 50%. The one that's Freddy's Beach Bar right by the pizza joint that's very active right now. You can see
Frank's.
that's a straight shot right across the bridge over from the Pentagon. So that's where they go and get their gay on and eat pizza, I guess.
The little gay pubs where all the midget gays go, right?
That's wait. That one's way up here. Up by DuPont Circle. This is a fucked up area to drive in right here.
Where's that at?
Up by DuPont Circle.
Oh, DuPont.
Right here.
Yeah. My sister used to live around that. Well, not there, but in DC.
Up here is like the hood right here.
She worked over in Alexandria area.
This area right here, you don't want to go there at night. Columbia Heights. That's pretty rough. That's with the map on the pizza index. I'm going to put this in the chat for anybody that wants to take a look at it themselves. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to put it over in this chat as well, just in case. There we go. And then we'll get back to the.
I threw some stuff in the private chat, just some random.
Right.
Old man's a good one. It's just some old guy who put a signboard in front of his house. The message you put on there was kind of interesting, and I found an Ebonics translator today. So I thought it was kind of interesting. So somebody couldn't understand what someone was typing, and I said, "Wait a minute, I know Ebonics, stewardess," and somebody laughed. So I used the translator. It didn't work, but it was funny. I found a French video of guys filming Canagoo from 2016. It was really good.
So it's critical. The U.S. and Venezuela, critical with China and Taiwan, and high over here for Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine's been up. If you look at the chart on it, Russia and Ukraine's been up way up. I mean, the videos that I see, that I watch, you'll never see on YouTube. I watch them on BitChute, and yeah, they're friggin' brutal, man. That is like, it's brutal. Feel bad for them people stuck in that shit.
There's a huge drop right here, and now it's spiked up again right here. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty crazy shit.
You ever looked at the Pigeon Bible? It's like Hawaiian.
No.
Oh man, and it's so funny. Hang on, let me see. The translation of it's freaking hilarious.
Isn't that a language?
Yeah,
Pigeon.
But it's hilarious how it sounds pretty ghetto. It's pretty funny. Or is it in Nigerian? Nonetheless.
Good things happen when you believe in yours.
He just put a sign in front of his house, like, hell with it. I'm gonna put
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting.
Ebonics translator. It's an app.
Yeah, it's like it opens up like a page.
Okay, I got it.
It's interesting. It's
so what do you do? You like
you can type in normal English and then hit translate, and or you can do the opposite.
Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
When you get to it, I put a link in the regular chat. It's the Pigeon Bible. Just pull up, just read the first paragraph. It's hilarious.
Right. Let's see, where am I at? This one. And I have to pull it up out of there. There it is. Stop scrolling. Stop.
Yeah, I put it in the private.
All right, so Ebonics translator is, let me put this up on the screen. All right, so what do we want to translate? Let's get it. I have to go to the store and buy some food. Okay, and then we're going to translate that into Ebonics. Yo, I has to go to the store and buy some grub. Shit.
This is one of my new favorite apps.
This is fucking gold. I swear to God, I gotta save this.
I know Jive Stewardess. That's what popped into my head from Airplane.
Let's see.
Where do you get a column of gravity?
He says, "Yo, I has to go to the." Oh wait, no, I got to
That's the
translate
last
now.
one.
Yo,
Yeah.
what kind of raza is that? What kind of raza is
Yeah,
that?
ask him if it's flat or a globe.
There you go. Is that Earth? This ought to be interesting.
Yo, is Earth flat or a globe? It's pretty much the
No,
same.
man,
Yeah,
they didn't know what to do there.
I'm gonna have to fucking play with that. That's great.
yeah, it's just a fun little toy.
Check out the Pigeon Bible real quick. Just read
All
the
right,
first
yeah, I got that.
paragraph.
Hold on, let me see.
Somebody in a comment section today typed in some shit that every single it had more comments, people asking, what the hell are you trying to say? And I was like, hold on, I know Jive Stewardess. And somebody laughed, and I went and found that. And I was like, hold on, let me see if this works.
God made the world.
God made the world. The time when everything went start. God made the sky and the world. The world comes, so no more nothing inside. Nothing inside. No more shape, nothing. On top the wild ocean that cover everything. Never had. You know what? We need to get what the fuck's his name? You know, the guy that's reincarnation of Bob Marley comes on here.
Rasta Bear.
Yeah, Rasta Bear.
Yeah, he knows he knows that. He knows the lingo. So doesn't Heron. Heron knows it too. She was in reggae bands, so she knows.
Then God tell.
Set it to set it to music. You have some Rasta, some scat. What do they call that other shit? They got Rasta and they got that other stuff.
Oh,
ska.
Ska, yeah, that's like punk. It's like mixing punk with reggae, kind of like the white boy reggae music there. What's I always forget the name of that thing. The guy died.
It says here, then God tell, I like light for shine, and the light start for shine. God see how good the light, then he put the light on one side and the dark on the other side. God damn.
Well, Pigeon, isn't that like how when they say, they don't say brother, they say brada? Isn't that like a Hawaiian thing? Or like the islands thing? Tonga and
You're asking the wrong person.
They have their own like vernacular
no
on how
idea.
they pronounce things. Jimmy Snuka talked like that. I mean, Jimmy Snuka, the wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He would say brother, not brother. He would say
Go
brother.
have Dog the Bounty Hunter translate.
Yeah.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Gotta get off that ice, brah.
Oh, wow. What is that? Okay, here we go. Where am I? I'm lost. What did I have? Oh, yeah.
I'll find you. Come towards the light.
No.
I heard a comedian the other day say he was on a stage and they turned on the spotlight and he said, I started walking towards it. Older guy. He said he wants to get a tramp stamp. They call it a Gramp stamp. He said, I don't know what to get for a tattoo. And he said, probably my phone number.
Oh, this is good. These are so dark. These are just so dark. Let me see.
Sob, you piece of shit racist.
No, I know.
Remember Monkey Cat? He was freaking out on you.
He did. He Sean Hawkins, he was still bent at me about something. I don't know. Maybe it was because I showed that picture of him eating at Thanksgiving.
Blowing on the sheet of paper. What a scientist.
I'll show you here in just a second. This is great.
Welcome to Walmart. Our prices roll back forever. Come inside if you dare. We love to greet our customers with a smiling face when they come in. I think I shit my pants. At Walmart, we've got everything you could ever need. Groceries, clothes, electronics, and so much more. Here at Walmart, our produce is fresher than ever, enhanced with the latest GMO technology. Don't worry about what's inside, it's all part of the value. Our rotisserie chicken is packed with flavor and about 5 days worth of sodium. Preservatives? Oh yeah, enough to keep you fresh forever. It'll outlive you. Here at Walmart, we always make sure to keep just one register open, even when there's 20 others just waiting. Because patience is priceless. We care about keeping things secure. That is why our receipt checkers go above and beyond. Don't forget, show us your receipt or else.
Walmart owns you. Every aisle, every dollar, every soul.
Live better.
That thing's appropriately named Brain Rot Reels.
I know. It's so disturbing. I think I found the another performance by the Fart Girl.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch to my laptop. I'm gonna try this out once.
Oh, she's back at it. Oh, there must have been a people must have been asking for it.
It's karaoke at the colonoscopist. Yeah. Let's see here. I had
Her return must have been in high demand.
Oh yeah, this is pretty good too. Hollywood brainwashing. It's only short.
So how does Hollywood brainwash you? Well, one way is like this. They begin their movies on a globe and then they zoom in to whatever the first scene is. Real clever way to brainwash you in the very first scene of any movie you see. Universal Studios is so bad they use this globe as their logo, as their intro to every single movie that they make. At the beginning of every single movie Universal makes, you're going to see the spinning globe logo. So it doesn't even matter what the movie's about. You're going to be brainwashed.
Yep. You see that all the time. Oh, this is kind of crazy. So what's your opinion on what do you know about King James? I mean, outside of the Bible.
Nothing.
Most people
I might have. I don't know. I don't think. Well, I don't really think anything. I mean, I remember hearing the name, and I remember hearing it when I was a kid. I don't know, but I didn't really have any interest in looking into it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. They say, most people say, "Well, who is King James?" Well, he's the one who had the Bible translated. Okay, what else do you know about him? You don't know shit.
He's probably some crazy bastard, I'm sure, because all those UK King guys were all a little off.
Yeah, wait till you hear this, man.
Saying the man who translated the Bible be his own mother?
Oh, yeah. King James I, the man behind the King James Bible, had his mother Mary, Queen of Scots, locked up and then executed, allegedly. He worked with his aunt, Queen Elizabeth I, to make it happen. Why? So he could secure his place as King of England. That's not exactly the kind of story you'd expect from someone tied to the Bible, is it? But it doesn't stop there. James had a thing for demonology. He wasn't just curious about it. He wrote an entire book, Demonology, all about witches, demons, and their nasty tricks. And this is the same guy who decided, hey, I should translate the Bible for everyone. And then there's his personal life. Rumors say he had questionable relationships with men, including his cousin, and he wasn't exactly known for being morally upright. Yet this is the man people trust for one of the most influential versions of the Bible. Do you see the problem here?
The more you know, the more you have to question.
I started my journey 30 years ago, and I encourage all of you to do the same, because there's so many more problems with modern day Christianity that has absolutely nothing to do with Jesus. Easter, for one, Christmas trees, all of those are pagan traditions that were intertwined into Christianity. The whole Trinity is made up. The Council of Nicaea in 325 CE, they basically decided that they were going to invent the Trinity in order to appease the paganistic tendencies of the Roman people in the Roman Empire, which Constantine had just become a Christian. Now he's got to convince his people to do so, or he will be overthrown. It was always about power. It has always been about power and will always be about power. Stay informed. Knowledge is power.
Wow, he had his own mom killed. Huh.
Wow, you look totally different, Cubby, on that one than you do the other one.
Oh my God, it made a ceiling appear.
I know, right? Hang on a second. I'm trying to turn down the volume here.
Sounds good.
Good.
Look at Dirty Ketchup says, what the, right? A lot of people don't know that shit about him.
Yeah, I mean, all those English kings and all their family and all that stuff, they were all screwed up. So weren't the French. The French had all kinds of interbreeding and all kinds of weird shit going on.
God, yes.
My God, they were horror shows.
Those Habsburgs were the worst, man.
Yeah, they had the crazy chin, and they had all kinds of, if you just bumped them, they would bleed like crazy. Some of them were taking crazy medicine that made them wacky. Like, Jesus, they're all whacked out. But that's, they couldn't bring people in. They considered them dirty or unclean or not bloodworthy, I guess, to mate with any of them. So they just mated with each other.
Well, I got to keep that bloodline.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I think they have to have a certain genetic code to be able to be harnessed to a demon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think that the same demon resides throughout different hosts over a long span of time.
Did you ever see that painting of Prince Charles? If you mirror half of the painting, it's a fucking demon behind it.
Yep. He's quite proud of his lineage that leads to Vlad Dracul, Vlad Tepes, the
Impaler.
Dracula. And he actually owns one of the castles of his in Romania. And rumor has it that he likes to put on a cape and run around in the woods and shit. And I bet that ain't all he does.
No.
I fully think that his dad was a fucking demon. That dude started looking more and more like Nosferatu as he got older. That it wasn't even funny, man. Really bad. This is funny as shit. Watch this girl.
This is a square. Can you guess which spot that goes in?
The square.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one
Also the square.
that goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got this thin rectangle.
The thin
Can you guess
rectangle.
where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
The circle.
the square hole. Now, we've also got this semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
The semicircle.
semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes
The
into,
triangle.
right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square hole. And up next, we have the arch.
The arch. The
And
arch.
you guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square hole.
That's a Glover trying to speak gravity. We showed
Do
the
I sound okay?
We showed
Yeah,
the
it sounds
clip of Idiocracy earlier, D-Man, where they and he says, "What are electrolytes?" And they're like, "Well, it's what they make Brondo. It's what plants crave." And he's like, I felt like that with that guy talking about his gravity. And I don't know why what was difficult about what I was asking? I said, I know you think what causes it, but where's your proof of what causes it? You're just describing something that happens.
Yeah.
And then saying that this is why. Well, how do you know that that's why? Well, because of the rate that it fell. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Are you really fucking kidding me? This is how they got these people pulled into this shit. It says, see, it matches this formula. You do realize that the formula was made to match the observation, right? You do know that, right? Good God.
Yeah, it was hard to listen to. I find most of those guys now all are doing the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. They're following the same script. It's a script, okay?
Mhm.
Obviously. They're following the same script. They don't know a friggin' thing they're talking about.
No.
They can't sit there and break that down for you, break it down for the crowd, and sit there and do all the math equations and show you diagrams and show you observations that they made and photos and everything. They're not going to do any of that shit. They're reading the script, obviously. So
That
it's
guy
hard
right
as
there.
hell.
Now, I came in here about 20 minutes before the show started, and I saw that he was backstage. And I think it might have been Cece jumped up here. Next thing I know, it was his camera. It put him up on stage. And the show hadn't started yet. And because I heard somebody talking with other people, and I'm like, where the fuck is that coming from? And I went over to the StreamYard tab, and his camera was on, and he was talking with other people, but I couldn't really tell, what they were saying or anything like that. So I was wondering, maybe he was on the phone with McToon or something, because he is a Toon fanboy.
Yeah.
He wouldn't admit it. He wouldn't admit it, but he is.
He lied about that information coming from McToon. It's like, dude, we all saw it.
Yeah,
I know. You can't put the cat back in the box.
They're all McToon boys, all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one, everyone everyone you could think in your mind right off the bat, they're all McToon boys.
That's
and
a
listen,
fact.
they're all stuck. They can't go any further with this shit. It can't go any further. The only thing they can do is make up magical mystery fantasy land shit. And then when they get stuck, what do? Didn't I say it 48 hours before? I said, watch. He's going to go right. As soon as he gets stuck, he's going to go right to the sun. He's going to go right to space. That's exactly what you do. And they have the same MO every time they do it. Every time.
Yep. It's like they really want this space and starships and all this other fucking nonsense.
It's fantasy land. They romanticize about it. It gives them a Woody.
It would suck. Okay, it would, no pun intended, but I mean, can you imagine that? You got to travel, I don't know, 5 years to get to some fucking place. You're stuck on board this vessel. What do you do all that whole time for those 5 years while you're just doing what, man? Supposedly headed toward some planet. Let's say Mars. They finally get there. They land, and what are they going to do then?
Yeah.
What then? We're going to hit a couple golf balls around? What?
They fantasize about this stuff, and that's what it is. And I've been saying it for a couple of days that they're stuck. They can't go any further. Once you get to the point of physicality, none of this shit works anymore. It don't work. You can't observe it. They can't see it. And if they show it, or if they suddenly start to say, hey, let's go get on a ship and let's go come on, let's get on a plane. Let's go fly 10 hours. It's going to show everybody when they're doing it that this doesn't work. That's why you don't see them doing physical stuff. It's because once it gets out of fantasy land and goes into the real physical world, it don't work. So this is where they're stuck. That's why they all go to the same spot. That's why they all have the same references. That's why whenever they get stuck, they go right at the sun. They go right into the stars. They go right into this crap that doesn't do anything for exactly what you explained to a T, that it's simply falling because of density. It's falling through a medium. You could not explain that more simple. Me and Roger kind of broke down the first 10, 20 minutes of it. And I mean, dude, you could not have pointed that out any more simply and easy enough to picture for anybody to picture in their head to put it together. You could not do it any better. It was spot on. And I don't understand why they have to put this magical fantasy shit on top of it. Just keep it basic and simple so it's easy to understand. This is what it is. This is what it's doing. This is what it's falling through. This is what it'll do when it can't go any further, or it falls in the water, or it hits the ground, or, you know, I don't understand why they have to attach all this other shit to it. All they're doing is screwing themselves. They can't go any further with it.
Because they know it's nonsensical, and to even try and make any sense of it is impossible, and they know that. So that's why they try and get you to use all their methods and science and math and all that crap, because they know none of it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, look, I don't care about your math, okay? Math is just a numerical description of what you just told me. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. And as I've illustrated before, math doesn't really mean anything if the numbers aren't based on something real. That's like with their calculation of 93 million miles to the sun. Oh my God, you get into that, what a joke that shit is.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes. People are dazzled by the mathematics, I guess is what you know what I'm saying? They go, oh, look at that. You know, and that's really complicated. That really must prove something. It doesn't. It's just describing what the motherfucker just told you. That's all. And that's what it's mostly used for, is to dazzle you. But the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the demonstrable reality of what you're claiming. Because let's face it, we're basing this off of observations in nature. Everything that you are trying to figure out in science is based off of observations that you do in a natural setting. In other words, I want to know why this happens, or I want to know what makes this happen, or what is this made of. So you then go on, you know, a scientific journey to find
a vision quest.
Yes, you know, you really got to start thinking about this shit. And this is the kind of toy, like, you know, these kids, they got a little fucking iPad and everybody thinks they're all smart and shit while they're being brain gooed by these fucking tablets and shit. Not trying to discourage your new iPad, Chad. So, but I'm saying people that are using these goddamn things to babysit their kids. I'm going to show you. This is the toy that I was talking about the other night. Remember, I showed the experiment where you can make that thing that would sink down to the bottom and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
I had this when I was a kid, and that's what made me think about that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. And what you do, this thing was full of water, and this thing had air in it, and it had these little claws on it, right? And they were, when it was at the top, they would be closed. Okay. So what you would do is there's these little treasures and anchors and shit down here on the bottom of this bottle. And then you would squeeze the bottle. And when you squeeze the bottle, it would make the little diving bell thing go down to the bottom. And you could adjust the pressure of squeezing it and get it to like just be in the middle and shit. And then kind of like tilt it a little, try to like move it over a little bit or whatever, and then make it go down further. Okay. So when it was compressing the air inside of that little diving bell, it caused it to become less buoyant. In other words, the air became denser for its volume to its medium, and it was the weight of this thing could pull it down to the bottom. But that also, when it was squeezing that air like that, because water can't be compressed. So the only thing that can give way, and this is why this thing's full to the brim, the only thing that can give way is the little bubble of air that's inside of the diving bell, and it has no choice but to compress. And so it becomes more dense, and the little diving bell becomes less buoyant because of it and goes to the bottom. But it's really cool that compression also causes these claws to open up. so that when it's down at the bottom, once you get it where you want to get it, you release it. You just let your hands off of the bottle, and the little clamps would close and then float back up to the top.
Yeah.
It was a really cool toy. And I went to looking for this thing called Sea Diver right here. And the only place I could find it was on eBay for $185 fucking dollars because it's an antique, right?
Yeah.
But then I guess in the wisdom of AI and snooping on me all the time, I was able to find another place that makes that toy currently on Amazon, and you can get it for $20.
Oh, nice.
So I think I'm going to get one because that's a great demonstration of that. You know, we change the by compressing the air, by squeezing the bottle, we actually change the relative density of the diving bell with the air in it to the medium, and so it was able to go down.
Yep.
It's ballast. It's basically like how ballast on a submarine works.
Did you ask him on the guy that you would talk and having the discussion with? Did you ask him about drafting at one point?
Steven, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think that got brought up.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you should look. A good place to maybe look for something like that would be not that it's a great place to go, but Goodwill or an estate sale or something might pop up in one of those things.
Well, I mean, if I can get one brand new, I'll show you. Oh, and I found my phone. It was in my back pocket.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned about the iPad thing earlier. One thing I was going to say earlier is like with all this technology, it's like, yeah, I went out and bought a freaking new laptop. This is my last. I'm sick of tech. But anyway, it's like they keep coming up with all this new tech, but it's like, aren't you worried about our carbon footprint, you know?
Right.
No.
Like, oh, you know, global warming, climate change, carbon footprint. And here you are creating more and more and more and more tech. But
all right,
whatever.
I think
They're all a bunch of hypocrites anyway.
Ah, cool. I can bring it up here on screen.
I used to go to an e-scrap company, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I have stuff over the years, bad computers, boards, stuff people gave me, you know, doing fixes back in the day. And you should see some of these warehouses. It's just top to bottom. You wouldn't believe the chemicals that they have to use to strip those boards and get all the metals off of them.
No, I bet.
And they put them in a machine that grinds them up. It creates all kinds of crazy dust that is toxic as hell. Every guy in there was wearing respirators and stuff. It's like, yeah, that dust ain't good to breathe. And plus, they're using, the acid etching and doing all kinds of stuff on all the PCBs.
So there's what I found, D-Man.
Yeah, cool. It's almost the same, almost identical.
It's almost identical. That's what I'm saying. And
just went from sea diver to treasure diver.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's also a good test for the rising earth.
These are, just rocks at the bottom, but the top is actually top. That all the way up to the top. And all your little treasures and shit.
Can I point something out?
Yeah.
That is a container.
No shit, right?
And it has no open top. That's why you have to put the sealer on top.
Right.
So it's a contained system.
Because the only way we can get pressure
is
by reducing the containment available area inside.
Yep.
Right? And we do that by squeezing it. And since water will not compress, the only place it has to go is where that bubble's at.
Yep.
Inside there, and compress that. See? See how those little claws open up?
Yep.
Now you're ready to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna order
definitely
one.
worth it.
I know, and I remember when I wish I still had it.
Is there sound going right?
Yep.
See, it's
Oh.
it's great for demonstrations of shit too. Like like this thing. This thing is really cool. I've brought this out before.
I have to figure that part out. I can't hear the sound in the videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Little quirks.
Everybody else able to hear?
I heard it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just me.
Okay.
I gotta figure it out.
Oh shit! I already started it up. Okay, so this thing, I'm going to bring this up me full screen. This is really cool. Okay, what we have here. Let me kill my my background. Well, I don't know. You all can see okay, right? Okay, yeah, you can now. So there's a fluid in the bottom of this, a liquid down here in the bottom of this, and we just got done saying a liquid like that can't be compressed. Air can. So what we have is there's a tube that runs down into the liquid and goes up through here spirally. You see it all spirally, and it goes up in here to this open area of this bulb right here. Okay, now watch what happens when I warm the air in the bottom. See, there's no place for the air to go, so it's going to push the liquid. So the air, as it expands, is going to push that liquid, and it'll go all the way, all of it will go all the way up into the top. Watch this. There it is. It's all up there right now. Now, as soon as I release it, it'll go down. Now, it'll go down slowly because this air is still warm down here. And as it cools, it makes way for more liquid to be able to come down the tube. So as it starts to cool down here, this liquid starts to fill up. Now I can speed it up by heating the top with my hand. And as you can see, it all pushes right down into the bottom. It's no longer in the top, right? But watch what happens this time. It'll be a slower reaction than it was before because now we've actually expanded the air up here in the top part. So you see it goes up really slow. So a little bit of dynamics to add to the little effect, but that's a pretty cool little thing to demonstrate shit like that with. And that when you see that and you understand what's going on and put it together with other things like that little toy that I just showed, you can see how that can get the mind going. Oh, and you start to understand better how things work.
I just come up with an idea. Hold
Look
your
how
hand
slow
on.
It's still going. It's still trying to get down there.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking it up by holding it here in the middle. It doesn't know what to do.
Hold your hand on the top and the bottom at the same time, and then see what it does.
Probably not. It doesn't know what to do.
It won't.
It equalizes.
Basically, yeah.
Now, if I let my hand off the top,
it's going to take a long time to go up now because the top's cooling.
It ain't
and
even
the bottom is
starting yet,
heating.
but it's starting up the tube now. It's starting up the tube now a little bit.
South Spencer store.
There it is. There it goes. There it goes.
Yep. Now, is it from the heat from your hand?
Yes.
And the heat is actually, what is it doing? Is it heating?
Okay,
the
so
air
what it does
and the fluid?
is see that tube goes all the way to the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So there's only just like a little tiny gap down there for the liquid to be able to get through. So what's happening is this is sealed off from the rest of this thing. And when I put my hand on there, what happens, it warms it up, and the air inside this bulb here at the bottom
Pushes it.
It heats up and expands, and the liquid it has to push the liquid because the air is going to expand.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
It increased the pressure inside there of the air, and it pushed the liquid up through the top like that, all the way up to the top, because it was like had to give way, had to make way for the expanding gas. And that's why it took longer to come down, because it had to cool. Now I've got it like at a state of equilibrium right now. because it's in both sides. I don't know.
So it's almost the same as if you took say a helium balloon and put it in a freezer and it would drop because it's being cooled.
Well, yeah, because it compresses. Yeah, it becomes more dense.
And then if you heated the room up.
Okay. The same thing that's going on with that little toy I showed you.
Yeah.
The bubble inside there got compressed, so it became more dense. And now the thing is not buoyant anymore and it drops.
Yeah. And that's the heating part.
That's the demonstration right there of buoyancy and density right there all day long. And we live in a dynamic fluid pressure system. And like I've said, man, there's never any instance where a physical object is not subject to a fluid medium.
Yeah, it's exciting the air. It's the same thing if you took that balloon and put it into a room that was really hot and heated it up, it would shoot up quick. And if you cooled it down, it would drop down. You're exciting it, or you're
right.
Yeah.
See, that's I like to use. I show people that, and say, you want to see something really cool, because I got like all kinds of cool shit. You come into my
Saab's old time farmy store.
Well, it's like I have this curio cabinet. It's big, long. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 doors on it, and it's got these glass shelves, and I've got all kinds of crazy shit in there. Little miniature army tanks, geodes, gemstones, just cool shit. A little flat Earth model. There's all kinds of really cool shit in there, and people come over and they look in that and they're like, holy shit. They spend a lot of time looking too, because there's so much shit to see that's really neat. And so I use that. I've got this over here that is really
Saab's Emporium.
This thing right here.
You have to charge a cover charge to get in there.
It's a thermometer.
Yeah, I talked to you about this before.
It works on the same principle, but the thing is that each one of these little globes that's inside here is, of course, at a different density for the temperature.
Yeah.
And the little tag on it will indicate right here, the one that's in the middle is always what the temperature is. Now, if there's 2 of them real close together, it means it's kind of like in between it. But
you sure that's a thermometer?
They're accurate. They're accurate as shit.
Isn't it a barometer too? It's a bunch of different stuff, isn't it? Because I had one of those.
No, this is just temperature.
All right.
But I've got a thing in there. It's called a Admiral Fitzroy storm indicator. That there's these crystals suspended in this liquid, and it will tell you like if a rainstorm or a snowstorm or some shit is going to come just based on the way the crystals form themselves inside the liquid.
Peter W. said, and it's a bong.
It's a bong.
That ain't the only thing it is. Stop stroking it there.
Yeah, these are really cool. A lot of, I guess a lot of it's like the kid in me, because this is the kind of shit I always had like for toys when I was a kid, like even, I don't know if the battery
hydrometer. Thank you.
There you go.
Yep. Spencer's.
Yeah. I had one of those.
You know, and it's like, hey, what's going on here? What is this? What's happening?
Where's the lava lamp at?
Now I'll tell you what's really wild, okay, because I'm always fucking with stuff and seeing what happens. And one time I laid a little tiny piece of tinfoil on the very top of this thing, and I turned it on and didn't do nothing, right? Until I the beam went up to it, right? But when I put my finger like right near the corner of the tinfoil, that shit would fucking zap into my finger and leave like a little pinhole. A little pinhole. It would burn a pinhole into my finger. I was like, fuck.
Got a weapon on your hands.
Yeah, no shit. So I'm like, ray guns. So yeah, I mean, it's always crazy shit. Like this thing here, if I complete the circuit, my body completes the circuit. See, if I hold it in the middle, nothing happens. It's metal on this end, boom, it's connected there, all the way to this end, and boom, I complete the connection.
Yep.
Pretty cool, huh?
You are the neutral.
But I love that kind of shit, it's just That's why I have like this little flat earth inside this crystal ball. Oops, upside down. There we go.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I got Metatron's cube. Oh, we've had show and tell now for a little while.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Time to take a nap.
Welcome to my dumpster fire.
I got this fan up here.
It's
Does it
green,
show
so
up?
it's
Oh yeah, there it
there
goes.
it is.
Green. It's a dumpster fire. My wife makes those.
Got some microphones over here.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'm gonna order that toy because that is like I hadn't thought of that thing in fucking years. And then I was like, and then I thought, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh no, I saw that Facebook thing. And I went, oh fuck. I had that, man. That was really cool. I was like, wonder what I ever did with that. You know, of course I wouldn't have it now, but wish I did. But I'm gonna order that because that's great for like a demonstration of shit.
The only things I had when I was a kid that were like that kind of stuff was I had an Erecta set. I had multiple Erecta sets, and I had Lincoln Logs, and I had one cool game called Buddy Hackett Bowling. It was this giant plastic curved bowling thing that had like a ball that you put on the launcher on the end. You could adjust it for the angle and loop the ball in. I played that game like a trillion times. But
do you guys think Steven's watching the show tonight?
No,
probably. No. I wouldn't doubt it. At least
no, not at this time because he's probably in bed.
Yeah, I forgot about the time.
He's got to go be a fake jail guy.
He wasn't nearly as hateful in real life or on camera or whatever than he was like he is on Facebook. He pussycatted right out really in comparison.
Well,
but
that's a lot of people.
I do notice this tendency amongst these guys, man. They have that feminine, passive aggressive shit that they do. Like, oh, I'm sorry. What was that? I wasn't listening. Like,
Yeah.
Like what you said was so unimportant. I didn't even take heed of it, even though that's why I'm here. Listen, you heard what the fuck I said. That's just your passive aggressive way of being a dickwad. That's all there is to it. Let's call it for what it is, man. I'm too old to be playing in fucking games, man. You got something to say, bitch? Say it.
Look at Edwin Johnson's comment.
Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up. Bam.
Well, like I said, I wasn't trying to like lead him on, but he would just give like one word answers. It's like, do you want to say something else? Like, like you did come here to debate, right?
Steven got fired. He'll reconsider his life.
Do you think a lot of those people are really what they say they are, though, by talking to them? Do you really think Wesley is an engineer? No. Do you think any of these people are really what they say they are, or they just do that for cred on the internet? Like, of course I'm a pilot. That kind of shit.
I've run into more fucking airline pilots on Facebook than you could find in an airport. They don't know the first goddamn thing. They just got some stock pictures of a cockpit and they say, I took this myself. No, you didn't. Shut up.
I think like in title, like his job probably gave him that title. Because like when I worked at a hotel, as a joke on my little name badge or whatever, it said maintenance engineer, right? I was no freaking engineer. I was just a maintenance man. But anyway, it's stuff like that, and he works for some firm or whatever. He basically just like writes book reports. He goes to a scene, finds out what the problem is, writes a book report for his firm. And then, he's no engineer. That's just by time. It's like all those fake degrees you get in college, right? That they give out,
right.
Forensics electrical. What is it? Forensics electrical engineer. What even is that?
I don't know.
Meaning he works for an insurance company. Okay.
Basically, he's an adjuster, like Saab says.
I would imagine he works from home and probably not with other people because
he would have to.
Yeah, somebody would have fucking
really.
He's on the internet all day long, right?
Yeah, somebody would have had to. They would have throttled his.
Can you guys hear that? The snowplows.
No, I can't hear.
Okay, all right. My mic probably blocks.
Really,
it out.
Cubby? Really? This is what you're doing now?
Well, I'm upstairs. That's why I'm always downstairs, because
See how
I'm
you
furthest
are?
away from the window. But they're loud as hell right here, so my mics work good. Look here.
It's a little loud.
Some kind of French shit there, but we're out of Rice Krispies. There's no more Rice Krispies.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh wow. What'd that be? What be that thing? What be that thing? Could that be like mountains? Yeah, it's nice too. Music makes me think Damien's coming after my ass. You know what I mean?
That's 140 something miles away.
Jeez.
You would not see that thing from that distance. It wouldn't happen.
Wow, man. It's fucking crazy, bro. That's a long distance. Well, here's the thing, too, and I put it in the chat. How can you see a sunset looking straight ahead instead of looking down, which is what you would have to do if it was a ball? The horizon would be below. You would have to look down to see the horizon. If you're on a globe and it's curved like that, you're always on the highest point. That means the Earth should be sloping away from you in every direction, right? But it doesn't do that.
Right.
Plus, how the light would go, especially over water, you would notice real quickly that the light angle, as you would see the light go across the surface of the water, would be different.
Oh yeah. There
the
again,
reflection
water doesn't lie. But when it does lie, it's because it's lying flat. But that's the thing. You think about that. You would have to, if you're on a sphere, no matter how big it is, right? You're always going to be on the highest point of that sphere. Everybody will be, no matter where they're at. And let's just say it's all water. So no matter where you're at, you would be on the highest point of that sphere. So that means that the Earth would be sloping away from you in every direction. There would be no cause for it to appear to rise in elevation to just below your eyes, about the same height you are off the ground from your eye line in perspective. But that's what you're seeing, right?
Yep.
You would have to actually look downward to see the horizon. And so we look straight ahead and watch a sunset, whereas on a sphere, you would actually have to angle your eyes down to see the sunset. And you don't have to do that, especially the higher up you went.
You would see.
Remember, we've showed that video. I showed that video about a horizon on a ball, and it shows the comparison, the simulation in CAD versus the ball. Boom, shows in reality, and this is what we really get, and this is what we should be getting. And he says, I found that hilarious. And I was like, well, what part did you find hilarious?
Has he ever been in a plane or a helicopter?
Oh, I don't know. I never did ask him. I couldn't get him past that. Dude, I'm telling you, like talking to the fucking people on the on that movie, Idiocracy, man, about the electrolytes. I swear to God. It was such circular reasoning. It's like these people, he's going, well, how old was that thing? How do you know how old it was? Well, we get an idea how old it was by the layer that it's found in. Oh, okay, cool. Well, let me ask you another question. How do you know how old that layer is? Well, we know how old the layer is by the things that we find in it. And it's like, what the fuck?
Can you source that? Hang on. Give me a
Hold on, let me look up his website.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm telling you what. I'm telling you. Somebody probably sent that to him. Somebody probably seen that from.
I'm sure he had some.
If it was what he said, then before you would see the sun, you would see the shadow of the globe, the Earth, the surface itself being projected over the sky before you saw the sun, and you would see it every time the sun would come up and go down. You would see the Earth shadow because of the rotation of how they model it, you would see that light roll around. You would actually see the shadow of the physical land itself, and you don't see that. Nobody does, and nobody ever has.
Oh, well, see, and this is the thing. That's what they have to always go to, is this imaginary reason for the sunset.
Yep.
Boats over the horizon. That's why I was trying to pin that guy down too. I was like, wait a minute. You're saying that there's a curvature it can't be seen at 127,000 feet. We saw the thing in the movie right there. Out of Felix Baumgartner's hatch opened up. Boom, there's the horizon, eye level.
They had like
And,
4
and
cameras
then
on
you
it.
tell me, he said, well, it's, you have to be even higher than that to see the curve or whatever. And I says, yeah, but you're telling me you can see a fucking boat go over the horizon.
They purposely
Talking
made
about.
the camera behind him in the right aspect. The outside ones, they
Oh,
made
yeah.
fisheye.
Oh, I know. It looked like Planet New Mexico.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that? New Mexico obviously takes up like,
You can
2/3 of the planet.
you can watch the beginning of that from the start and literally see the stuff that's right at the ground, right next to it, 2 or 3 feet, and it's already curved. It's already
Mhm.
curved already.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only-
Those GoPros are notorious for that. They're made for that. They're for these. They originally came out for these like adventure sports.
Yeah,
people
sports
doing
stuff.
their shit.
Yeah, up close.
Yeah.
So,
Like I like some of those. It makes my ass pinch up. With some of them guys riding bikes down these mountain trails.
Oh, yeah. I've
and
watched
shit.
videos.
I'm like, no, I've wiped out on bikes like that and shit.
Have you ever seen the curved monitors that you can buy? Curved TVs?
Yeah.
Where it's curved?
Yeah.
Well, they do that to give you an aspect ratio so that it gives you almost peripheral vision so that
Right.
you're focused in the center, but they curve the sides of the monitor over to mimic your peripheral vision so that as you're running, as you're driving, you don't have to, you can focus straight ahead because of how you're looking at the monitor. It gives an aspect to the sides. So they curve it. And they do that to, that's what they're doing. They're mocking your eyesight. That's all
Well, I
they're
think
doing.
they're trying to make things even more real so that you can be, that it's easier to hypnotize you with. See, that's part of the illusory magic that's used on us. And it's really propagated, of course, through the TV. It's always been used with music. Let's face it, Lucifer was one of the best musician in heaven, and before he was cast down. So music has been used a lot. Look at you, lull little babies to sleep with a lullaby, right? Which is kind of came from lull the baby, is where lullaby came from. And it works. You can evoke emotion. So that's a type of illusionary magic. They used it at the Charlie Kirk Memorial that they set up only 11 days after the fucking thing. That it was able to secure us all etched. Anyway,
I know a guy that I used to game with that he has the ocular headset.
The meta thing?
Oculus?
Yeah, Oculus.
Yeah,
It's the goggles that you put over your face, and it's
retarded shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are trying to. They're going into fantasy land into that stuff when it gets to that point when they're mimicking life, when they're mimicking reality. You're already in reality.
Well,
That's why
the
it's a
thing is,
game.
they mimic reality, but that's the illusion too, because reality will mimic that. See, I used to think that art imitates life, but what we find out with television and media and propaganda and the things is that life imitates art.
Yeah.
They give us art. They give us the art of an assassination attempt. They give us the art of an election, right? And they're steering us this way. And it does affect how the people are. Right now, they're getting everybody geared up at any given time, getting people geared up to hate on somebody else. At any given time, to pit this group against that group and this group against that group. And how do they do it? Through the media, through that shit. And then it happens out in the reality because people start glomming onto it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the illusions, is we're being puppeteered by that illusory magic. And of course, the speech magic, like this Hegseth guy, he's the Department of War now. It's the Department of War. Sounds kind of aggressive, if you ask me. I mean, we are supposed to be a defensive nation. We're not supposed to go off attacking people for shit. But that's what most of our history is. We need to stop it. But it's because it's terrible. But this Hegseth, he goes that he calls them war fighters. Did anybody ever refer to you as a war fighter, Chicago?
No, that's
No.
why I said there's something in that. I don't know what the meaning behind
They
that
got
is,
that
but
from
that's why they
gaming.
did change it to the Department of War too. You know, there's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
going on there. Haven't
Well,
dug
even
into it yet.
back
but-
in it used to be the Department of War. Like during the Civil War and before that, it was called the Department of War.
Oh,
I think
okay,
it was
so they're-
changed to the Department of Defense in World War II.
Mhm.
I think is when they
Well, I
changed
don't know, but yeah.
or after World War One, maybe.
Mhm.
But I was never referred to as a war fighter.
No.
You know, and that to me, that seems like that's kind of like you know how language matters.
Yeah.
You know, does that refer to maybe some kind of mercenary group or some kind of a private army that's been recruited together under the guise of the United States military contract? You know, you don't ever really know.
Yeah.
Who's actually firing these missiles? Who are the people that are flying, doing these missions? Are they actual United States Navy pilots or are they contractors?
Well, I think a lot of them are drones now at this point.
Yeah, well,
I
and
mean-
who's operating that? See?
Well, yeah, but yeah.
That's the
probably
shit.
the
And that's
Navy,
how they get
actually.
around stuff. And by calling people warfighter, it's kind of like they say, we use fresh all beef patties. And it's some kind of shit that comes from a place called Fresh All Beef. And that's the name of the company. Doesn't mean that's what they're selling. They say, we're use this all fresh beef patties. Well, yeah, they use patties from a place called All Fresh Beef. That's all, that's how they get around this shit. You got to be careful with these motherfuckers, man. They're slick. They're demons, silver tongue demons. That's how they get in there. Silver tongue, get up there, be good looking, charm the people, tell them what they want to fucking hear. And then as soon as you get in, turn around and fuck them in the ass.
Yeah.
Literally.
Woo! Oh, Lordy. I'm getting rough in here tonight. Let me see something. I found this thing. This was cool. It was about carbon dating. It was what's it? Kent Hovind?
Kent Hovind sound familiar, but
Kent Hovind, you'll know him as soon as you see him. Okay. How I do it?
that link that Peter W just put in the chat there, that's the 10 flattest states. I got
10 flattest states.
Yeah,
right.
Illinois is number 2, which I didn't know. I knew it was up there, but I didn't know it was number 2.
Which was the number 1?
Florida.
Florida was number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Florida. It goes Florida, Illinois, North
I
Dakota, Louisiana.
Hold on a second.
Minnesota.
All right, hang on.
Delaware. Kansas is number 7.
Oh, it's got to be the plains, out in the plains. Got to be what would be? It would have to be the Midwest somewhere. Kansas or
Florida is number 1.
Yeah.
The flattest states. Yeah, I was just reading them off. Florida is number 1, which I had heard that before. Kansas is number 7. Illinois was number 2, which I didn't realize it was that high on the list.
Kansas.
Oh,
Carry on
I'm
my
really surprised.
wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done.
You're my boy, Blue.
I like Kansas. Hey,
wasn't that Dust in the Wind?
In the wind.
Yeah, Dust
I
in
was
the
gonna
Wind.
say.
Yeah. No, that was carry on my wayward son. That's carry on my wayward son.
I know, yeah. Didn't Kansas sing Dust in the Wind?
Yeah, they did Dust in the Wind
Lay
too.
your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
My boy Blue.
Right? Yeah, we got Florida. It's number 1. Look at that. Yeah, they're like, I think, so I don't know, just a few feet above sea level. At the highest points, it's been a lot of places. And that's why down there, the further south in the Florida you go, and in Louisiana, why they have above ground graveyards.
Yeah.
Those
Louisiana does too.
Yeah.
And I know Louisiana, they're like, I think they 8 or 10 feet below sea level.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Wheezy.
Guy says, hey, why do they call you Tex if you're from Louisiana? He says, well, I sure ain't going to let them call me Louise. It's pretty good, though. This guy, he makes a lot of sense.
Home Depot level.
Dr. Kent Hovind. He's pretty good. I should be followed. I thought I was following him. Whatever.
Carbon dating? Okay. Carbon dating, actually fossils are dated by their position in the geologic column. They are not dated by carbon dating or potassium, argon, rubidium, strontium, lead 208, lead 206. None of those matter. A fossil is dated by the position in the geologic column. They're called index fossils. This guy admits it. Radiometric dating would not have been feasible if the geologic column had not been erected first. The geologic column was invented in 1830s. That was taught for 120 years and became accepted as science, and the geologic column doesn't exist any place on the planet. Okay, there is no geologic column. There are layers of rock. And they're assuming that it's different ages. That's the problem right there. This guy says fossils have been and still are the best and most accurate method of dating and correlating the rocks in which they occur. We go through all kinds of examples on this, but on video 7. The Earth's atmosphere is about 100 miles thick. It is mostly nitrogen, 78%, 21% oxygen, a little bit of CO2 for plants to breathe, and very little radioactive carbon-14. 0.0000765%. This radioactive carbon-14 mixes with oxygen and it becomes carbon dioxide, most of it does, and the plants are breathing carbon dioxide. Now, carbon-14 is formed when radiation strikes the atmosphere. The nitrogen, which is the majority gas are up there and here, nitrogen gets bombarded by cosmic rays and it bombards the upper atmosphere, producing fast-moving neutrinos. These neutrinos collide with atmospheric nitrogen, producing carbon-14. That's how it's made. If you look at a periodic table, carbon and nitrogen are right next to each other. Nitrogen is normally an atomic weight of 14, and carbon is an atomic weight of 12. But if the nitrogen gets blasted with these neutrinos, it turns into carbon-14, which is a rare, very rare, and radioactive element. It is radioactive just like uranium or any other radioactive element, and you can hear it as it decays or breaks apart and throws off all the little particles into space around it. Now, carbon-14 is being produced by the sun, or by the neutrinos, by the high-speed radiation, doesn't matter. It breaks back down to nitrogen. About half of it breaks down every 5,730 years. Okay, this is estimated to be the half-life. Obviously, nobody watched it for 5,700 years. But during photosynthesis, plants are breathing in CO2. And so the animals eat the plants and make it part of their body. So you and I probably have carbon-14 in us because at some time in your life, you have either eaten plants or you've eaten animals that have eaten plants. That's about all there is, okay? So these plants are absorbing things out of the atmosphere. They're absorbing the carbon-14. It becomes part of their tissue. It is assumed the ratio of C14 to normal C12 in the atmosphere would be the same ratio found in living plants and animals. If the atmosphere is 0.0000765%, it is assumed plants and animals have the same percentage. That has never been demonstrated, but that's a reasonable assumption. Okay. When the plant or animal dies, it stops taking in new C14. So in theory, you can tell how long it's been dead by measuring how much C14 is left. This entire process was invented by Willard Libby, Nobel Prize winner for inventing carbon dating, University of Chicago, 1947 to 53. He worked on this, moved to Stanford University. Carbon-14 continues to decay after the animal dies. If half of it's gone, you would assume it's been dead 5,700 years. It can't get any more, obviously, so it's going to go out of balance. Carbon dating is actually a comparison of the carbon-14 in the object with the carbon-14 in the atmosphere. It's a ratio, okay? If it's 0.0000765, it is still alive. If it's only 0.0003825, it's 5,700 years old, etc., etc. The less it has, the older it is. This is how the theory works. It goes from a half to a fourth to an eighth to a 16th to not much, okay? They compare the amount of C14 in the object being dated with the amount in the atmosphere to estimate how long it's been dead. If only half of it has been, if it's only got half as much, it's assumed it died 5,730 years ago. Sounds good, but there are some assumptions that mess up everything. If I told you to fill a barrel with water, but there were holes in the barrel, as you're putting water in, it's leaking out. It's kind of like a checkbook, you know. You keep putting the money in, it keeps leaking out different places. But at some point, you're going to reach a stage called equilibrium. You'll never fill the barrel past that point unless you speed up the intake or cut down the outgo. The Earth's atmosphere is going to have the same problem. If you took a brand new planet Earth, created it, poof, and stuck it out going around the sun, 93 million miles away, it would start developing C14 from radiation and start losing it to decay. So the question is, they wondered this back in 1950, how long would it take Earth's atmosphere to reach equilibrium? The consensus was it would probably take about 30,000 years for the Earth to reach equilibrium. And then Willard Libby and the boys at the University of Chicago made a tragic mistake. They made two fundamentally, fatally flawed assumptions. They said, well, we know the Earth is millions of years old, mistake number one, so we can ignore the equilibrium problem. They ignored it. The problem is radiocarbon is still forming 28 to 37% faster than it's decaying, which carbon-14 is proof the Earth is less than 30,000 years old, or else it would all be stabilized by now. It would be stable in the atmosphere, and it's not, okay? We could talk all day about that.
Thought that was the micro machine, man.
I know he talks really fast, man. A lot of information in a short period of time. But I mean, you just listen to what he's saying. Were you around when we did that that show on carbon-14? Ryan was on the panel, I think, too. Yeah, Ryan.
I don't recall it, but I might have been.
Yeah, that was fucking boss. We got to reading about it, and we were laughing so hard because it's so many assumptions made, so many. And this guy right here says by their own fucking admittance means that the Earth couldn't be any more than 30,000 years old. So,
did everybody else? I feel like this popped up in so many people's feeds with that thing where that guy, I want to say Montana or somewhere, found those T-Rex bones. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
I feel like I know there's a couple other people have come across it, but it's funny how like they try and push all this crap to like truthers, or I don't want to call everybody truthers, but you know what I mean.
I got something because I'm gonna have to shut it down.
Brad and Tasha had a link too. He wanted you to play. I'm not sure.
If okay, I'll go look for it here in just a second. But here's what I want to do. I want to show this, and I want put a 1 in the chat if you understand this. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't understand this. Hopefully everybody's seen it because I got to go. Oh, wait, I'm going to go look for that link. So if you understand that picture.
You're reaching for a nail gun.
Yep. But look, you're at the end of your reach.
Yeah.
How many times that's happened to me? You know, you're holding something up and you gotta go and you need to nail it, and the nail gun,
like, damn it,
right out of your fucking reach, man. And there's no way you can let go of what you got. And if you do, you're just gonna have to put it up there again, and you're gonna have to do everything. I've been in that fucking position. I've learned to make sure I got everything I need around me before I do shit like that. Because I hate being caught up in something like that. We were setting those cabinets today. I had everything out that we needed: clamps, rubber hammer.
Do you use a tool belt? I mean, not like you're gonna put a nailer in there, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I got a mine's okay. I have to put suspenders on mine.
Oh, okay.
I don't
that's
have
like
an
a
ass
nailer.
anymore. I don't have. I'm like a bullfrog standing on his hind legs. I don't have an ass no more. So my tool belt's down. So I got suspenders hooked to it. And but I got a lot of shit in there. I got a trim square. I got my tri-square. I got
You got the ruler suspenders so you can still measure too.
No, I had some of those one time, but they got wore out. Yeah, I had.
Except you can't expand them too far. You ain't gonna get a very good measurement.
That's so much better because you can actually loosen the belt and let it hang.
Mm-mm.
You know, kind of like, I don't know how your TA50 was, but that's how ours was. They were like,
yeah, that was how mine. I probably had the same stuff you did.
And yeah, it was just like they were just like suspenders. Clipped in one spot in the back and 2 spots in the front. And
they didn't get the new stuff until about right after 9/11, pretty much.
Well, it's so much easier to carry all that shit, you know, because I got like a 20. I carry a 28-ounce hammer. I got, you know, the monster 35-foot fucking tape measure, you know, and any nail puller, all kinds of fucking shit. You know, half the time I got so much shit, I ain't got nowhere to put any nails if I have to do something. I need another pouch, man, but I'll just put something else in there. It's like, we'll be doing something, Mike, and say, damn, you ain't got such and such. I'm like, yeah, I got one of those here.
Yeah. I bought a pretty nice belt. It had 4 pouches on it. I had to take some off. It was like, I try and keep it as simple as possible. You know, you don't want to be dragging all kinds of crap everywhere. But
yeah, I don't like having it.
Keep the basics in there.
Oh, I was gonna find that link from Brad and Tasha. Damn it.
Yeah, it's
Damn it.
probably
Okay,
up a ways now. I can't grab it. No.
Oh, where am I? Hang on, I gotta go.
I'm waiting on my mouse to get here.
Hang on, I'm gonna find it. I'll find it. It's way up there.
No, it shouldn't be. I said way, but it's a ways probably.
It's not 10 minutes ago. It's not 10
No,
minutes.
it ain't that far.
So let's see.
Cubby, you sound better and you look better. The video is much better.
Well, that's good. That means the adrenochrome's working.
Yep.
Damn it, I don't see. Let's see. This thing is 1140, 1140, 1139, 38, 37.
I'm just using the laptop, the MacBook camera.
I don't see the link, man. I'm looking.
Brad and Tasha, drop it again.
Yeah, drop it one more time, man. Hope he's not driving.
Yeah, I always forget about that.
Let's see.
I can't grab it on the chat's a little different here. I gotta until I hook this up to.
Yeah, I've gone back all the way to 1132 and I don't see it. Hang on,
there it is. Saddle Bum dropped it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Saddle. Go way back down to the bottom again. Got it. Dun 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 dun. All right. Let's see. The Jewish Peril. What's this? Let's see.
Means I gotta be on my toes, D man. If my camera's
gonna
better,
get me in trouble
can't
here.
have no boogers flying out or nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely higher.
Or like Zelensky, he had coke. Do you see that? Or he had coke flying out?
Yeah.
The other day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that dude. You can tell. Just watch him move.
I know his eyes.
You can tell he's on
twitchy.
coke,
his eyes.
You know who else is a big cokehead? Is that Jacinda? What's her name? That chick in New Zealand?
Oh, Arden.
Arden. Yeah.
Arden. Yeah.
She does a lot of that when she's trying to. You could see her kind of like twitch around a little bit and kind of rub her nose and give a little.
I think
that's still there. I thought they got rid of her.
I don't know, man. I think she could eat corn on the cob through a picket fence. So.
Yeah,
right. I think they got rid of her, but I could be wrong. There ain't New Zealand
face.
people here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what this is. This is what Brad and Tasha sent us. Thank you, Brad and Tasha.
1901 or so to the beginning of this century, around 1901 or so, a book first was published containing the text of what became generally known as the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. The publisher was a Russian academic, Professor Sergei Nilis. Nilis himself allegedly had obtained the protocols from a Russian official who had obtained the text from a patriotic Russian noblewoman who in turn had purchased the material from a Jew in Paris about 15 years earlier. The protocols purports to be a collection of minutes or reports of meetings held by the leaders of the world Jewish community, at which they summarized the progress they had made to that time in their quest for world subversion, world ownership, and world power, and outline their plans for continuing the process in the future. They talk about gaining control of the banking systems of various countries, about fomenting wars and revolutions to weaken and destroy Gentile power, about corrupting music and art and education, about subverting various Gentile institutions, about taking over the press everywhere and controlling the flow of information to the masses, about undermining the family and bringing family values into disrepute, and so on. The elders of Zion really are a satanic bunch of schemers. Reading the protocols makes one's flesh crawl. We should remember that when the protocols began circulating in Russia in the first decade in this century, that country had not yet fallen victim to Jewish Bolshevism. But that wasn't for lack of trying on the part of the Jews. The Jews were generally recognized as a dangerously subversive element in Russia, as the schemers and string pullers behind every attempt to damage or upset the established order in Russia. So Professor Nelis's publication of the Protocols found a ready market among the Russian public. After the Jewish Bolshevik Revolution of 1917 overthrew the Russian government and established a communist dictatorship in Russia, anyone found with a copy of the Protocols was liable to be summarily shot. The text already had been translated into a dozen other languages and distributed far and wide outside Russia, however. Since then, it has been published in virtually every language which has a printed form and has been read by tens of millions of people around the world. The Jews have been claiming hysterically since the Protocols first appeared that the text is, quote, a forgery. I guess that's their way of saying that it's not what it purports to be, namely the actual minutes of meetings of Jewish leaders discussing their plans for world domination. The great American industrialist and automaker Henry Ford was very strongly impressed by the Protocols and helped circulate the text in the United States. When told by newspaper reporters in 1921 about the Jews' claims that the Protocols was a forgery, Mr. Ford responded that all he could say about the material was that it fit what was actually happening in the world and had been happening ever since the Protocols first appeared in print. Of course, what Mr. Ford had especially in mind when he made that remark were two momentous things which had happened during the previous decade. One was the Jews' success in taking over Russia and imposing communism on the Russians. And the other was the recently ended First World War, a horribly fratricidal and senseless war which had destroyed the old order in Europe, had spilled the blood of millions of the best Europeans, and had weakened all of Europe's long-established institutions, leaving every European country open to all manner of social, political, and cultural ills, in particular to the further spread of communism. Well, Henry Ford was a hard-headed, practical sort of man, and it's easy to understand his attitude. He had no way of knowing whether or not the Protocols of the learned elders of Zion was actually what it purported to be. But he was quite impressed by the fact that the plan for world subversion and domination by the Jews outlined in the book seemed to be happening pretty much as described. A 1999 version of the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion might read something like this. Greetings, my fellow elders of Zion. Today I am happy to report to you that our plan for the destruction of the hated Gentiles and the acquisition of their remaining wealth is practically complete. There remain only a few loose ends to tie up, and then the struggle in which we have been engaged for thousands of years against the filthy Goyim, against all the non-Jewish peoples of the world, finally will be victorious, and we will be able to devour everything they have created as Yahweh, the God of our tribe, has commanded us. Everywhere we already rule behind the scenes, with puppets completely under our control in the offices of power. In Russia, where they resisted us for so long, where the ordinary people always hated us as exploiters, as moneylenders and tax collectors, and purveyors of alcohol, and merchants in the sweet white flesh of their daughters and sisters, and where the aristocrats also hated us as subversives and troublemakers and kept us confined to only certain areas of the country so that we could not exploit all of the people. In Russia, we used the doctrine of our dear departed elder of Zion, Karl Marx, to divide the Russian people against themselves and get the power into our own hands, where it remains to this day. We butchered their Tsar and his whole family like the Gentile cattle they were. With the help of the common people, we slaughtered all of the Russian aristocrats and took their wealth. And then we turned on the common people. First, we murdered their leaders, their writers and teachers and intellectuals and military officers, so that there would be no one able to turn the people against us. And then we began murdering the common people themselves, the farmers and workers, first by the millions and then by the tens of millions in labor camps and death camps all across Russia. And most of them never did understand what was happening to them. One of them, who had been studying to become a Christian priest, we corrupted and made into our ally. His name was Stalin. Later, like the Pharaoh who knew not Joseph, Stalin tried to turn against us. But one of our women was his doctor, and we poisoned him before he could harm us. When the system based on the theory of our departed elder Marx had bled the Russian people dry, we launched a privatization scheme which put most of the remaining wealth directly into our hands. America, however, is the prize example of our success. Just as in England and in Russia, also in America, we have been able to put a totally corrupt Gentile politician into the position of nominal power and then to surround him with our own people who wield the real power. Actually running the American government, our people are in charge of America's State Department, America's Defense Department, America's Federal Reserve System, and America's Treasury Department. We have gained a nearly complete control of America's educational system, from kindergarten through the universities. No ideas or facts may be taught unless we have given them the stamp of political correctness. We have made it impossible for anyone in an American university to contradict anything we have claimed, no matter how preposterous, about what happened to us during the Second World War. We now have the American government, just like every government in Europe, paying us reparations because not enough was done for us during the war. We have succeeded in corrupting America's art and music and literature. We have made degeneracy the touchstone for American culture. We own the art galleries and set the standards for painting and sculpture. We have the Americans lining up and paying admission to see a work of art, which consists of animal dung smeared onto a crude painting of a negress, which we tell them is their Virgin Mary. They read the depraved and trashy novels we tell them to read and believe that these novels are literature. Their children listen to Negroid rhythms and chant Negroid rap ditties because we control the popular music industry. Through the immigration policy we have imposed on America, we are increasing the percentage of non-white minorities in every part of the country. Within the next few years, we will succeed in making white Americans a minority in their own country. Our success in America has been due to two things: our control of the mass media of news and entertainment, through which we control the ideas and attitudes of the masses, and the system of mass democracy, which ensures that the votes of the masses under our control determine which figurehead politicians actually make up the American government. Since the last part of the 19th century, we have been gathering the power of the mass media into our own hands. In those days, many of us were only rag pickers and dealers in used merchandise, recently off the boat from Russia or Poland. But whenever a Gentile newspaper got itself into financial difficulties, we were ready instantly to pool our resources and buy it out, so that henceforth it could be in the hands of one of our people. In the 1920s, when radio was becoming a powerful medium of persuasion, we began buying broadcasting stations and putting together networks. At the same time, we saw the potential for motion pictures and began moving into Hollywood. By working together with each other, we were able to bankrupt or buy out every Gentile film producer except Walt Disney. We had to wait until he died to take control of his film company, but by then we already dominated the entire motion picture industry. After the Second World War, when television became the most powerful medium of mass persuasion, we were ready to move in and dominate the TV industry from the beginning. Today, no motion picture can be made and no television program can be broadcast in America without our approval. The American masses, for the most part, never see or hear anything we have not approved. There is, of course, that pesky internet, which is not yet under our control, but we are moving rapidly to deal with that matter. We expect soon to have our puppet politicians enact hate speech legislation in America, similar to that which we already have in Europe, so that no one can say anything on the internet which has not been approved by us. The couch potatoes will not object, because we will tell them that the new laws will make them safe from terrorism. By that time, we also should have achieved our goal for the disarmament of the American population. And then, my fellow elders of Zion, we can do to the American people what we did to the Russian people. With our power of television, we will have them voting for their own slaughter. Long live our mass media. Long live democracy. Long live the power of triumphant Zion.
Wow.
So, who's the swamp?
Who wants to be a Zionist, right?
Well, if you go along with it, you can get $7,000 a post.
It's a
Musical.
bastardization and a hijacking of a people's faith to hide behind that is what this is. It's, you know, Zionist to Judaism is like what the KKK is to Christianity. Okay. It's about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The KKK, they claim to be Christians, right? But are they? You know what I'm saying? Their actions certainly wouldn't indicate that. And that's what I'm saying about, you know, the difference between Judaism and Zionism. And they hide behind that shit. And, oh, you're attacking my faith. I'm like, no, I'm going after your whole fucking political bullshit. Get out of here with that. Go somewhere. Go,
KKK.
You got a little place over there in fucking Israel, right? Go over there and be. You know, quit fucking with me, and we're not gonna give you any more money. Why don't you go get a job, Israel? Get a job. Maybe that's why you're so angry. You got all this pent up anger and aggression because you just lay on your ass and take fucking welfare money from America. So here's what you ought to do, man. Get a fucking job. Put in some industry. Start producing something. I mean, for real. See, that's what happens when every business in town is a bank, right? Nothing's happening. That's the whole thing. There ain't nowhere for anybody to do anything. All right. Wow.
Well, they do produce the hormone drugs for all the
yeah,
what do
and
we want to call
matzos.
them? What?
Yeah, and matzo crackers.
Matzo crackers, yeah. Yeah, fucking bullshit kosher crap. Now I gotta say there was a really cool right by where I lived in Royal Oak in Michigan. There was a really good kosher deli that was right there near my apartment. And I like to go there because that was some good fucking food. That was some good food. It was like completely Jewish kosher deli. And I'll tell you what, that was some pretty good food. I don't think they had foreskins there. I didn't see them on the menu. I would have left, but I don't know.
Pretty good pickles.
Foreskins, maybe that's what's in it. You know, nasty. These people are fucking gross. Let's see. I was looking for something else too here. I had just for a minute before we go. Is that it? The lighthouse thing? No. Did I show you the Christmas lights in Colorado?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, all right. I wanted to make sure. I hadn't been through all this. Yeah, this is I've been through all this. Okay, I wanted to make sure I've been through all my other shit too. But yeah, we're gonna have to get off here in a minute anyways, right? It's like 6 more minutes. What the hell?
So is that kind of what they're asking Santa for Christmas in Colorado there? They're just kind of putting up the sign like, hey, you can drop a couple nugs down the chimney for me.
So on that thing, remember I showed about the flying around? 14 hours ago, somebody pulled up their own screenshot of that no-fly area, and there's airplanes flying around.
Mm-hmm.
His thing said, "Quit lying." So I don't know. Yeah, I see it on this one too. So you got to be careful. Yeah, here's somebody else.
Who controls all that?
See, that's just propaganda. Look, here's a bunch of people sending different screenshots in on this. Look here.
That's the problem with the internet.
There's airplanes going around in Venezuela all over the place, right? So that's one guy who posted that. Just before that, here's another screenshot showing airplane there, airplane there, airplane there. They're all over the place, flying into and out of up here. Okay.
Well,
So
how they make heads or tails of that? So, because supposedly during the Biden administration, all the Venezuelans came here through the border. So, what you're telling me? Were these guys? They're coming up from Venezuela too. What were they waiting on? They're waiting for the Trump administration to get in before they could start trafficking fentanyl over here. That doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I know. It don't make no sense at all. I don't. Well, no, the fentanyl comes up through Mexico. It's made in China. Okay, it's not coming from Venezuela.
That's probably made by our pharmaceutical company. Actually,
No shit. No shit. I agree.
Would believe that more than it coming from any other country but ours.
I'm just checking to see if there's any kind of updates come up on here about that. Let's see here. This was 18 hours ago. After military operations in Venezuela, Cuba, and Colombia will be next. U.S. official.
The Hegelian dialect, right? Problem,
Yeah.
reaction, solution. They create the problem.
Look at
with
the
fentanyl.
shadow.
They see what our reaction is, and guess what? We're
That's
going to
pretty
bomb
cool, isn't it?
Venezuela to stop it all.
Look at the shadow. Mount Hood does this. Mount Hood and Rainier do the same thing. When the just when the
Is that
sun
a column? Is that a column of air?
It looks kind of like one. That's what these fucking people, they don't understand about that. I'm like, what the fuck is so? What do you think? Free fall is really flying or floating or whatever? You're not. You're
There's no acceleration in free fall. You now know everything about rising Earth. That's all you got to say is there's no acceleration in free fall, and you've now been educated.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ, there she is. Look at this. You gotta be shit.
Buddy.
Oh no, what
It's
do we
weird
hear?
that her fake reaction gets so many real reactions.
Oh, the Irish are getting pissed again.
Oh boy. That's the House of Pain.
Says the new Republican movement of Ireland has put a target on anyone ruining the lives of the Irish and who compromise the safety of women and children. Well, all right then.
That's Whitey Ford Anonymous.
I'm like, you go, guys. Jesus Christ, look at these look at that, blowing that shit out of the water. Just say, there's a lot of to unpack here. Bombing vessels in the Caribbean without congressional
And that thing was supposed to have a bunch of fentanyl on it.
Is already an unconstitutional use of military force. Pete Hegseth's double tap on survivors looks like a war crime, and both armed services committees want him to, in the chair, to answer for it. Senate Republicans confirmed a sociopath as defense secretary, so this is on them too. Wow, yeah, I would say. Let's hear what it says. Let's blow it up big and listen to it, y'all.
Since September, the U.S. has launched at least 20 strikes on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean Sea, killing more than 80 people.
Jesus.
But the administration has offered no public evidence to prove they were actually smuggling drugs, sparking international outrage. Now, the Trump administration has formally added Venezuela's leadership to the State Department's list of the world's most dangerous terrorist organizations. But at the same time, Trump is pardoning the former president of Honduras, who is convicted in a U.S. federal court of trafficking massive amounts of cocaine into the United States. Since September, the U.S. has launched.
Well, at least it wasn't fentanyl, right? Jesus Christ. These people are
Yes.
just amazing. They are just amazing what they do. I mean, the shit that they try to get through with.
They always got to have some Asian girl like Connie Chung.
I know.
Yeah.
What's this? A volcano's going off. Ethiopia's high gooby volcano has erupted and the world is feeling it.
Wasn't Connie Chung married to what's his face?
Maury Povich.
Maury Povich.
Maury Povich, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a little tamer.
You are not the father, Covey.
Man, I remember one time. Okay, so there was this chick. They had her on there, and she was trying to find who's her baby daddy, right? And they bring on these 3 black dudes, right? And she's got this half black baby, and they always show the picture. And she'd get up there and say, "No, I know it's you because look, you can tell by this ear and all this." You know, they go through all that. Man, they come back and said none of them was the father.
Only 3. Did they bring her back the next day with 3 more?
They brought her back at a later episode, not just one time, but twice. She was on there 3 times, and guess what? They still never found which one of them guys was the father. And I'm thinking, okay, so the window for a woman ovulating and to be able to get pregnant is like a little narrow kind of window, right? And how many fucking dudes did you fuck in that period of time that you had to have? You tested 9 dudes and still didn't find the right guy, and they all
awesome.
doing you. You know, they all don't deny doing you; they just deny that that's their kid. Right?
Guys, the results are in. We have it here. Craig McNeil, Brenda is your father.
Oh my goodness! Oh my! Oh no, hang on, we got to celebrate with that one. We really do. We got to bring this one on.
Esta es una historia triste la que le voy a contar. Una historia triste la que le voy a contar. No tiene doble sentido, no vayan a mal pensar. No tiene doble sentido, no vayan a mal pensar. Era un viejo que morirse quería un último deseo. Un viejo que morir.
There we go, man.
What a cucaracha.
There you go. It was, I think that was Brenda's side job right there. But yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna have to call it off here. Look, 333.
We did again.
All right, guys. I want to thank y'all for coming up. Everybody that showed up in the audience tonight. Had a lot of good people in here tonight. Saw us as high as it was 172 or something like that. We can look real quick. Watch.
Well, we're at 168 now.
So in 168, let me see what the highest that it was so far. 184 was our peak. 184. So we're doing pretty good, man. Had a good night. We didn't see Roger tonight. Roger's got a live coming up. Somebody's got the thing in there at 1 a.m. Mountain Time. And Saddlebum, thank you very much. So everybody, thank you for coming tonight. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Everybody has a good time, and we usually have a pretty good show up here. So once again, do not forget, the Lord loves the working man. Don't never, ever, ever trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him because he'll probably fucking kill you. And if you heard the shot, it probably wasn't meant for you. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul. Next on Chain Mind. Wow. Next time. Right on.